Well, ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Watchman with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Make some noise, clap it up, get excited, get every ounce of energy in your system, because we're back, we're live with another Action-Packed Show for today, covering the world of boxing and beyond, off of the backs of a very eventful, very impactful, and very unique circumstance of events that was last weekend with again. Thank you all for coming in to live stream, all of you who came through. And it was an incredible amount of excitement and absolute fun that we enjoyed, and it was an incredible night as we finally got to witness what looks to be the demise of one of the most polarizing figures in all of boxing and sports world today, in Jake Paul officially getting knocked out. As you can see right here, I got so excited typing this thing, I forgot to put the right attachment, but Jake Paul finally got KO'd, and the world seems to be rejoicing. What's next for Anthony Joshua? What's next for the likes of Jake Paul? What is the next for the world of the heavyweight division as we know it? As well as, now that we got that out of the way, we're going to react to the fight. We're going to react to why it took Jake Paul so long to get beat, what this means potentially for Anthony Joshua as a heavyweight in the future, looking to fight against Tyson Fury, when somebody struggling to cut off the ring against a mover that was Jake Paul on that night. We're going to discuss all of that, but also we're going to have real topics of boxing to cover, like with INOUE versus INOUE and Junto Nakatani, both on the same card at the same time, finally here on display for the world to see, and they are one fight away from finally crossing the threshold of greatness and beyond just Japanese boxing, but in the boxing world as a whole, with the biggest fight in Japanese history on the horizon, with INOUE and Nakatani if they both win their respective matchups on, I believe, this Saturday. Hey, it's gonna be this weekend. Christmas is abounding. Holiday season's here. It's all spreading good cheer. And along with that, we're going to have the gift of war between INOUE and Junto, respectfully. INOUE against Picasso, as we know, is the headliner of the event. And again, if they both win, we're going to get what we've all been waiting for, the greatest present we can offer, as it, at least for the most immediate present we can get post-Christmas time. It's going to be a super fight that we've been waiting to see for years, upwards of 3 years to happen. I can't wait to see it with you all. I can't wait to be here with you all. And again, we thank you all for tuning in and listening. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hey, come on, come be a part of this empire. Come on and join this empire. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to go ahead and leave a like on the video. It means the world to help make this channel grow and to get everybody to be able to see what we got going on. Please leave a like on the video. Comment your thoughts and opinions in the chat down below. We can bring your chats up on conversation for the world to witness, and we want to hear your voice. We want to hear your whole goal. We want to hear your whole your goal and all and opinions of what you have on anything involving the show. And please be sure to share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together. That's right, we can't grow without you, the people. We can't grow out without you, the public. You viewers like you fund this channel and make it possible for us to be able to go and continue doing this every single week. So if you can help out and support, it would mean the world to me. I appreciate it. Whatever amount is able to be given, we will take it as homes to the empire. That's right, to go ahead and help invest back into this show, to make this show bigger, better, and stronger, and last longer, all for your viewing and listening pleasure. But without further ado, we got a whole bunch of show to cover. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. We got a whole bunch of action to discuss. And we got a whole bunch of fights, and we got to dive into. So with all of that being said, it is time to step into the ring. Oh yes, let's get it started. Ring the bell. Round one of this show going underway for this incredible event. And it's going to be, we're going to start off with the reactions that have the world abuzz and the reaction that has everybody on their feet. And let me tell you something, made the weekend pretty sweet because we finally got to see the man, the myth, the fraud himself, Jake Paul, get put to sleep. Your doggone right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get him out of here. Get him out. Yeah. We celebrated. Happy days are here again. Boxing's healing. The world seems a little bit brighter. The sun seems, in fact, you know what? It got so good. Hold on a minute. It got so good. I almost forgot. I need to open up my window. Hold up a minute. It looks so good on this auspicious day. Look at that. I tell you what, it might as well be summer outside. The way it looks, just so peachy. Look like a movie outside. That's how much of a breath of fresh air it has been since the days of Paul have finally fallen by the wayside with one of the biggest, strongest, and most dominant heavyweights this generation finally handling business, finally putting this brother in his place, and taking it to the streets, more so taking his fist to the side of Jake Paul's head and putting that brother out. You're doggone right. It's the best thing in the world. I couldn't be happier. I don't care. We are unbiased on this channel. I am not unbiased for this. I do not care how bad it may sound. I do not care how much of a not walking the line. Not in this case. You're doggone right. Not in this case. We going through and celebrating with everything we got in me. I'm telling you, I got my coffee. We've had sausage. We had waffles. I even slept in and still was able to do what I need to do. You know why? Because I was feeling oh so good that I could finally reach the feeling of fulfillment in my boxing career as a pundit. Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah. It feels fulfilling. It feels worthwhile when moments like these come along. There's a level of almost, how do we say? It almost feels the morning of joyous occasion, an accomplishment, a feat, a plaque-worthy development in the career. I live to see the day that we finally got rid of the nuisance that is Jake Paul, or at least we put a stop to the immediate rise that we've seen Jake Paul have in his career. And if you didn't get to watch the night of the fight, I'm gonna tell you something right now. First off, the undercard of that whole fight was indeed incredible. Hey, credit to that. Listen, Baumgartner did her thing. Caroline Dubois, sweet Caroline Dubois, did her thing, and potentially, allegedly, both of them getting down in performances, both of them scoring knockdowns. Lisa Baumgartner being one of the first women to go 12 rounds, 3 minutes in women's boxing history. I tell you, clap it up for that historic type of achievement. I've been wanting that to happen for a good long time, having the likes of women be able to fight at the same breadth and caliber as the men. Now, I made for the action to be a little more spaced out because normally the women, when they fight, they go to war. But I'm going to tell you this, the performance was sublime. More chef's kiss of a night. And then on the flip side with Caroline Dubois, if we want to talk about though again, Alyssa Baumgartner was on the more historic forefront, Dubois at the same breath was completely dominating work, and it has caused the public all of a sudden to have a fight they didn't know that they wanted to see it, but now they actually want to see it, and they potentially on a collision course for each other. Oh, buddy. Oh, man. You want to talk about firefight type of developments that would happen in that ring. It would be incredible to take place, and would be incredible for that to happen. But again, all of that was good. All of that was great. You had some spectacular knockouts as well. The card was decently good. The card was good. Then when the main event came, again, we're gonna show the highlights of the meal. We're gonna try to make sure that we don't get no infringing. But I mean, the whole fight with the main event of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua was a complete whitewash. It was a literal one-sided affair, and it's because Jake Paul ran the entirety of the fight as we go and break down this whole endeavor. If you are just tuning in, hey, let me show you the highlights of what exactly went down as we got to see this monumentous occasion of Jake Paul getting KO'd fully and definitively. It was a sight to behold, and it was a worthy endeavor to absolutely enjoy. Right where it's boom, right there. I'm telling you that this entire man, this is the face of a defeated man that we've been waiting to see for the longest time. And we're going to review both of their performances, absolutely. But if you did not get to see the aftermath of what happened with that fight with Jake Paul, well, let me just show you right now. And again, viewer discretion is advised. But, ladies and gentlemen, Jake Paul broke his jaw in 2 separate places. Titanium plate, lost roughly 4 teeth, and this is the aftermath of what he looks like roughly 2 days after. This is not CGI like I thought it was initially. This is not hyperbole. This is not fake. I repeat, this is when Jake Paul's official, I believe his official Twitter account has got shared by a bunch of social media. As I'll let him, if he can talk, I'll let him tell you how he is feeling. Let me make sure the volume's actually working. Let me actually make sure y'all can see. Okay, yeah, y'all can see. Let me come on. There we go. Let me let Jake Paul tell you all how he's feeling on today.
I'm okay. Just pray for me, all right? Hey guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And again.
Just pray for me, all right?
He says he's okay, and like I said, this is what we expected to happen. This is how we expect this fight to go. And this is the price that you pay when you let your delusion without work put you in the ring or put you in a situation where you are not qualified. This turns into your reality. You do understand his face will literally never be the same because of this. Lo and behold, if something goes wrong with this recovery, who knows what may happen with this jaw. What you need to understand, this is what it's like to fight a real fighter that actually knows what they're doing. When you are outmatched, this is what happens, and this, again, is what he deserves. And some people might say, well, you got to give him credit for stepping in the ring. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. I respect Jake Paul as a fighter. And again, you can see it in the immediate. Here's one more clip of the immediate aftermath of Jake Paul in the seconds after the fight. Like I said, viewer discretion is advised, understandable. As you can see, broke his jaw in 2 places with that 1 KO shot to the jaw, and teeth removed. Whole teeth was out of whack and misaligned, completely uprooted. It was bad. 6 inches higher, that punch could have been even more devastating. But I digress. What you have to understand about this fight, if you want to say that Jake Paul deserves the respect, all the respect in the world, I'm going to look you in your face and say this. I don't agree. I don't agree. And here's why. Here's why. I agree that he is indeed a fighter. I agree that he is indeed a real boxer. I agree that Jake Paul is a fighter who has trained and has worked to actually get better. But with all that being said, beyond him as a fighter, with him being a fighter, that is as far as my respect goes, and I respect Jake Paul no more beyond that. But in this fight that he put on with Anthony Joshua, there is no credit that's given. There is no, oh, well, at least he stepped in the ring. We're not giving those types of sentimentalities. That does not belong here in any way. In no way. Do you know why? Because like I said on the live stream, if you were able to tune in, thank you all for tuning in. But like I said on the live stream, on the day of the fight, if we are going to chastise William Skull for running against the likes of a Canelo Alvarez, if we're going to hate on Shakur for running against De Los Santos the way that he did, if we're going to hate on Devin Haney for the putrid performance that he put up against Jose Ramirez, there is no way we're going to let inexperience take away from the fact that he did not try to win that fight. If you want to say that he lasted longer than Francis Ngannou and hence he did better than Francis Ngannou, that is not the right way that you have to look at this whole show. Because, one, the ring was 22 by 22 feet. Adding 2 inches to adding 2 feet, to every side of the ring, 8 extra feet of space. If I got my calculations right, that was able to be done for Jake Paul to be able to move and facilitate a survival tactic. And it was a survival tactic, not a qualitative, actual fighting tactic. He wasn't going in there to win. He wasn't going in there to try. Francis Ngannou went in there to try. Francis Ngannou stood in front of Anthony Joshua. Francis Ngannou tried to come forward and score. Francis Ngannou was looking to fight. Now, again, he got knocked out in 2 rounds. But guess what? That's because he was actually there to engage. He was actually fighting and participating in the sport and not just trying to go through and survive. He did the same thing to Tyson Fury. He did the same thing to Tyson Fury. He actually stepped to the moment and attempted to do something. Jake Paul did not try a lick of anything except for running, holding, clinching, and getting down on one knee like he's trying to propose every other second. There was no actual trying to work. He landed an overhand right, but guess what? It didn't faze Anthony Joshua. Don't let the fact that people say, oh, it landed, the sweat flew. That did not hurt Anthony Joshua. Notice, when the only thing, I say this on live stream as well, the only thing that was holding AJ back from really committing to, okay, yeah, we getting really, really aggressive in terms of, we going for it now, was the one thing I've said I hate that people have for Jake Paul. Too much respect just for the power. Even with him going through and trying to up the ante, once he got hit with that right hand, and it didn't faze him at all. He traded with the hook of his own that caught him and flung Jake Paul to the other side of the ring. That's when you saw Anthony Joshua really go and just say, all right, yeah, I have nothing to worry about. We go in and we work, plain and simple. Plain and simple. Then really started reaching for that hook. Then really started going and really establishing that body jab. Started lunging over a lot more. Because he wasn't scared of the power, because once he felt it, oh, okay, yeah, you couldn't hurt me. And I told you all, Jake Paul doesn't have heavyweight power. He doesn't have the power that you think. He's got power against people that ain't got chins. He got power against people that are smaller than him. He don't got power. He couldn't knock out Mike Tyson. He's showing up ain't knocking out Anthony Joshua. I was telling people this. This man did not attempt to fight. He only attempted to survive. And that's why he lasted 6 rounds with a 22 by 22 foot ring, with extra space, with a game plan, nothing about actually fighting, simply trying to get and say, I went 8 rounds with a former 2-time heavyweight champion, and I can walk away. Thank gosh the ref actually went and did his job and stopped all that. Thank goodness. If he didn't, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. And then again, he got punched in the face. His fat, slobbering self got out of shape. And when you got to fight, boom, you're nothing. And again, we can finally say definitively, he's a bum in every facet, in every metric, and good riddance to him, at least for the time being. Hey, I'm happy. Like I said, my holidays have gotten just a little bit bright. But on the side of Anthony Joshua, there is some detraction. That I will say this. Yes, Jake Paul was objectively avoiding any sort of trying to get hit. It's good enough to where he was able to go through and make people miss, like Lawrence Okoli was saying, because he wasn't trying to engage at all. He's got enough IQ to know when to move, at least. And we've talked about this before. When somebody doesn't want to get hit, guess what? And they choose to run and not try to do anything. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Even Mike Tyson fought against people like that in his prime, while reigning as undisputed heavyweight champion. And it was a situation when people, he was having a hard time getting people out of there, not because he wasn't one of the greatest finishers in history, but because of the fact that they didn't want to engage with him. They didn't want to engage with him. But even with that being understood, yeah, Joshua didn't cut out the ring like he was supposed to. You're doggone right. Joshua didn't use his length like he was supposed to. You're doggone right. Joshua didn't go to the body like he should have and kept on headhunting, and instead of going and trying to further debilitate the hips and the stamina of Jake Paul. Jake Paul's defense was putrid down low. He was feeling every shot. A jab flung this man from the middle of the ring to the ropes at one point in time. You could have taken some better angles. You should have taken some better angles. There was a lot of stuff that was like, hey, against this type of fighter, there are some problems that we have. There are. I will say that there are. And it should have been more, some people say it should have been more destructive. But, regardless of which, from the bad, I am negative, but to a point, because of what the circumstances around this fight was. With a bigger ring, angles that would normally have worked didn't work when AJ was closing the distance, because there was actually more room to move than what a standardized 20 by 20 ring is. And he wasn't fighting somebody that was actively trying to fight with him. Now, we've also said things like Canelo versus Skull. Canelo couldn't cut out the ring against Skull. And even though he wanted to fight, it wasn't looking good. And then him going up against the likes of Terrence Crawford now had everybody saying, oh, he might struggle with the movement of Terrence Crawford if he goes through it in the ring. Because look at what happened when somebody was just making a miss all the time. Even though, again, he wasn't trying to fight. It's one of those type of situations where, yeah, it could be a bigger story down the line. It could be a situation that's concerning when it comes to Tyson Fury, who is attempting to fight next and who he has called out officially inside of the ring. So, hey, we do have some speculation that we need to talk about. We do have some concern. There is a concern. There is. Absolutely there is. But the biggest thing about it was, would he be able to get over this hump? And at least can we get a taste of what the Usyk training looks like? And for all the bad that we've discussed that we've seen from this returning Anthony Joshua, they ain't fought in over a year. While there is still a lot of stuff to work on, I will say that at least the fluidity of how he looks inside the ring from a comfortability standpoint, that looks to be a little bit better. At least if we want to look at some good stuff in regards to this. Now again, fighter opponent, not somebody that is going to remotely test him, not somebody that's going to push him to a bad limit. So, we'll hold off until we see the next opponent that's coming up in February that Anthony Joshua said he wants to fight. Or February, excuse me. Then Joshua said he wants to fight with before getting in the ring with Tyson Fury. We'll see how that looks then against an actual, legit, higher level competition, though it probably won't be still up here. It'll be better than Paul at least. We'll get a better gauge with somebody that wants to engage with him, what this Usyk style is going to be like. But, biggest thing we can say about this, hey man, we passed the boat. We passed the boat. We passed the boat. We got past the hump. And again, I'm just happy because Jake Paul got knocked out. I don't care if it's unbiased. I don't care if it is biased. I'm happy he got put to sleep. I'm happy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. I tell you what, man. I'm loving it. Also, we got people in the chat like with Fredo. Hey, brother, Fredo, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to avoid anybody's chats. I'm trying to make sure I get people going. So let me see what y'all got to say. I give credit to Jake, and again, I give him credit for being a fighter. I don't give credit for this fight because of how he fought. That's me. You could credit. I understand. I'm all for respect, and I respect him for getting in the ring. I respect him for the work that he put in. I don't respect that when you go in and you try to do something you objectively did not. That's not something I can respect. And so I can't give credit to that because you did not even attempt to perform. We've never, at least for me, I've never had it in boxing where just you getting in the ring is worthy of praise if you aren't trying. effort has got to be shown so I can say, okay, yeah, you did what a warrior's supposed to do. You tried to find a way. You just got beat by a better man. Can't do nothing about that. But if you don't even try, that's like that. I don't like it. I mean, to step in with a 2-time heavyweight champ and a gold medalist after just doing a decision to a 6-year-old Tyson, and I watched up Chavez, and like, I get it, and I respect your respect, and I respect your credit, because yes, this is a very lofty goal. Like we said, if you saw his face afterwards, and again, I posted the picture, and like I said, viewer discretion is advised for those of you who haven't seen the aftermath, but got his jaw broken in 2 places. But he also did not deserve to be in this position in the first place because of what he did not do, working through properly in his career. Like, in no way, shape, or form. He cut the line, and the whole career of Jake Paul was done through shortcuts. And that, I can't get with that. When you get to that position that you shortcutted your way through, and you didn't, and everything you did with all those other times, you didn't even try. Me, I can't respect it. I cannot respect that. And for me, as a when we're talking boxing, I can't respect that. If he had went down trying to do something, not desperation right hooks, actually using the stuff he had learned over the years to try to make a fight happen. We're seeing effort. We're seeing not just kneeling down like he's at a Diddy party. We're seeing him going through and actively working to formulate some level of gameplay. Trying anything. He didn't. He just went to survive. And like I said, if I can't respect him for Shakur or Devin Haney, Scout, I can't respect it for him. Not for me. Also, we got to see Adam. What's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. And like I said, we're covering the aftermath of the world of Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Then we're going to cover Yuji Nakatani versus INOUE, the potential super fight, the Picasso card, all that stuff. We're going to cover all of that. And Merry Christmas, Jean-Luc. Merry Christmas to you today. Oh, yeah. Happy holiday. Yes, sir. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you got. It is 3 days, or what is it, 3 to 4 days, however long. It's 3 to 4 days away from the festivities to begin. Everybody getting all excited. We even created a thumbnail just to make it a little more festive for the holiday season. Hopefully you're having a very Merry Christmas season. Hopefully you're having a very, again, Hanukkah, whatever the word you celebrate. Hopefully you're enjoying family. You're enjoying the weather. You're drinking hot chocolate. You eating whatever food you can get. Eggnog galore. If you drink, don't go too crazy, because you gotta get to the new year. So please get to the new year. I'm begging you, because I'm telling you, some of y'all be going crazy behind the screen. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Just playing. Just Merry Christmas to you, man. Happy holidays. Hopefully you're having a joyous occasion. Hopefully you're having a splendid time. And hey, hopefully you get what you want. If somebody gives it, and if you don't, hey, be the Grinch and take it from them. Oh yeah, rip it away. No, please don't do that. We don't want the holiday festivities all of a sudden turn into a police escort. We don't want that, not at all. We do not want that. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Jake just ran and still got caught, and that's the thing. He still got caught. And like I said, the result of, mind you, this buddy got caught with the knockout punch was a one-hitter quitter. And mind you, and again, viewer discretion is advised, this is what that punch did to him. This is what that one shot did to him. Broke his jaw in 2 places. Titanium plate, losing upwards of 4 to 5 teeth. Legit. Now, I have also said that when it comes to juicing, I've speculated this brother might be on something. Now, I've said that allegedly because I don't want nobody coming to sue me. Be clear. But from the track record of what's been visually seen and how he has moved into this boxing space and how his structure in his face and body has changed in a level that is not common from a natural standpoint, what I've seen for the boxers. That shot, that if AJ We saw what that same right hand did to Robert Elenius. Did we not? We saw what that same right hand did to Pulev. We saw what that same right hand's done to a litany, Klitschko. A litany of heavyweight fighters. And you mean to tell me somebody at 190, ballooning up to 210, can come through and take that clean of a shot when he hasn't shown that he has a phenomenal chin before against one of the strongest heavyweights in the world? If it's just him, credit to him. But my gosh, I'm telling you, man, if he had that type of chin before, then maybe he should have actually gone through and turned into a real fighter and fought competent competition and worked his way up properly. He might have actually been on to something. Because that shot would have known to put anybody to sleep. I'm talking about comatose level sleep. That clean. That was no fake punch either. But that was 100%. That was straight up 100% power. If you saw the shot, it wasn't nothing. There was nothing fake. This right here, the fact that brother was able to move and react after that, just that shook me up to my core. I don't know. Something seem right about that, but again, that's just me. Just me. That's just me. But let me see. Ramon Vasquez, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. So happy you're with us on today. Let me see what you got to say. Are people giving credit for Jake making millions to fight Anthony Joshua and never did? He ran for his life. And let me see. And keep remembering to wear your mouth. Yes. Please remember to wear your mouth guard at him, because you doggone right, buddy. That stuff like that can happen. That's why protection is all. It's incredibly important. And brother, who would have known what would happen if he didn't have that mouthpiece in there? But Ramon, what we're saying, there are a bunch of people beyond just Jake Paul's promoters, beyond just Jake Paul's own team, around the boxing world that are having credit given to Jake Paul for sitting and being in this situation. For my belief, my feelings, I don't give Jake Paul respect because he did not go out and try to win this fight. If he did and put effort even in getting knocked out, like Francis Ngannou did, who was actually looking to be there to legit win. There's a reason why I don't talk down on Francis Ngannou for that. Especially after he performed against Tyson Fury. There's a reason why I don't talk about Francis Ngannou in a way that holds him hostage of, you a bum. No, because he tried. Like, legit tried. Jake Paul did not try. He tried to fleece $92 million by just surviving and moving. And he rolled his ankle. Moving around the ring, he rolled his own ankle because he is a terrible fighter. Like I said, he's a boxer. He's not a fighter. He's a boxer by title, but as a talent, no, he's not. In this world, this is what will happen to him. This is happening against him with everybody. This will happen against him with Jared Anderson. Even Okoli, even though Okoli probably would just clinch himself into a decision, even when he had the upper hand, he's not good. We've been saying this. And he didn't deserve to be in this position. So I am not going to give him credit for getting to a role that he was not qualified for. And then when you get here, you do the same thing William Skull did. That does not garner my respect. Not at all. And it shouldn't. Let me see. If you want to be treated like any other fighter when you go in the ring, that's the thing. Expect me to look at you in disdain when you go about it when you go about this fight in a disgusting manner. Expect me to have some held. Again, this is me. I'm not saying you feel how you feel. This is me. Expect me to say that you a bum with no remorse and not give you any sort of credence. Forget the money. It's the effort. It's the effort. You came in here to survive and nothing more. And you talked all that talk about what Anthony Joshua was not, unskilled, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then you ran like Devin Haney, who you accused of a boring fighter. You ran like somebody who wasn't living up to his own moniker. I'm the baddest heavyweight in the world. I'm going after a championship. Mind you, he's still talking that he's going to get a championship opportunity. I can guarantee you now he's going to try to fight at cruiserweight because crazy enough, he is still in position to get a championship fight at the cruiserweight level, even though it shouldn't be the case at all. He still is in position to get that. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because he still wants to fight against Zurdo Ramirez. He won't fight Jai Patai, especially now. But he still wants a championship opportunity. So, I'm going back to the drawing board. I still want to be a champion. And crazy enough, there's people and there's enough money that people will still give him that opportunity. For better or for worse. But, like I said, this is the only, getting beat up like this is going to be the only way that he can actually continue to fight. Getting beat up like this is the only way Jake Paul will ever be able to continue to make this type of money. Fighting against these types of killers is now the only recourse that Jake Paul has to be able to be successful as a headliner talent in the boxing world, because nobody wants to see him against any fodder. They want you knocked out brutally as a way to get off steam. And now we know that you lost. Okay, well, what you gonna do? Fight another UFC fighter? We don't care. You gonna rematch Anderson Silva? We don't want to see that. You have nothing left except for you got to fight people like Moses Atama. Y'all think I'm playing when I put that short out there? I'm telling you, you don't have to fight Moses. He gonna have to fight Moses. He gonna have to fight Jai Patai. He gonna have to fight Teta Moana. He gonna have to fight the likes of Zurdo Ramirez. Shoot, he might have to fight David Benavidez if he goes down to cruiserweight, and if Benavidez don't get that fight, but he don't get the Zurdo fight, potentially something goes wrong, but he wants the money. Okay, fine. Cool. Fodder, busy work. I can destroy you. I can beat you up. And I can go through and brutalize you. Stay active. And then fight Zurdo, take the belts and all that stuff. Yeah. Well, here, there, and everywhere. He goes and conquers the cruiserweight division. Potentially. But those are the types of fights you're going to have to fight. And nothing else. And everybody else is going to actively kill him. He's not going to have a 22-foot ring no more. All these caveats, that's gone. He's got no recourse but to go through and get destroyed by people that are talented. Because if you think that, nobody's going to want to see it now. You are a sideshow where you're paid to get hurt. That's your job. A jester that's paid to get hurt after this fight. Because nobody wants to see you. And nobody's going to pay for you to actually work your way up. So you got here, you got to stay here, and let's hope your jaw can still call out somebody by the time it recovers. We're going to see how it goes from there. But again, I digress. I'm not giving credit to Jake. He's a con artist, and he, like I said, he's a con artist, but boxing wanted to get robbed. You can call him a con artist. Boxing wanted to get robbed because we're going to make money. You know, it's like you burn down a house, but to get the insurance claim. Company blows up a building. So all of a sudden, an accidental fire. Next thing you know, they get a bunch of insurance and they get money back. And now they can put that into more stuff. Self-sabotage for their own gain. That's what they did. A profit. And it worked. Jake Paul played the system. One of the greatest businessmen we've seen. One of the greatest businessmen that we've seen in boxing. It's just the price he pays. He's gonna have to get hurt. He's gonna have to get destroyed. That's Jake broke his jaw, and he's a nice boxer, calm, but can't imagine what someone like Benavidez will do to him. I can't. That's why I want to see it. Hey, that's why I want to see it. Oh, I can. I definitely can see what would happen there. I would love to see that. You have to put that on that because I can do that 6 days out the week. You mean tell me I get a banger card? We can potentially get Caroline Dubois versus Alicia Baumgartner. We can get a bunch of banger undercard fights, and then on top of it off, I can see Benavidez putting an even more damaging, destructive blow against Jake Paul, I would love that. Like I said, I would pay to watch him lose and nothing more against this type of fighter because that's just fun. Jake Paul is now in the position. He's the reverse Butterbean. He's the reverse Butter. Everybody loves to see Butterbean knock out people at maybe even slightly above his level that were because he was a big round dude, fat white guy that's coming in and look like he can't do nothing. Next thing you know, he got earth-shaking power. Oh gosh, who doesn't want to see that? It was great. Now Jake Paul is the reverse Butterbean. This is Butter who everybody just wants to pay to see get beat by people that are actually good. That's the only reason that they would want to see him. Because anybody on his level, he's past that ship. He passed the ship. He passed that ship on for the shortcut to fame. And now him going back down is going to bring him no money whatsoever. So he's stuck getting his jaw broken and potentially getting some brain damage down the line. Which again, I can't pity because you put yourself in this position. You put yourself in this position, so it really is a shame, and more so as we can continue to move through with AJ, and then we're gonna move into so we got some score stuff that we want to delve into him versus him talking against a couple of legends, which I got some big problems with, but last thing with Anthony Joshua specifically before we move on. AJ now is right back where he was with Francis Ngannou. After he beat Francis Ngannou, everybody, oh my gosh, what a highlight reel, another highlight reel type of KO against a crossover type of star. Everybody sees him. Everybody here in America, he's getting, here in America, Anthony Joshua's getting the level of feedback from the U.S. population that he was supposed to get against the likes of Andy Ruiz when he first came over here to New York City, when he fought to defend the titles and got knocked out and in the second greatest upset in boxing history. This moment now is what that moment was supposed to be all those years ago, where now there's a bunch of people that know me, don't know who Anthony Joshua is. Excuse me, they know me, but they don't know who AJ is. They hear me talk about the brother, and this was the first time seeing him. And now he's got a whole new swath of populace and a whole new swath of personalities that are all privy to what this brother is and who this brother is. They have gone back and watched what this brother's career has actually been over the course of his time in the sport. He made a lot of fans. He made a whole lot of people want to see him fight again, even though this was just a spectacle. And he now has put himself in a position where it's almost a no-brainer. If we were going to question whether or not Tyson Fury would commit to this fight with Jake Paul, I can guarantee you right now, yeah, he's going to commit because Jake Paul has reached that global acclaim, even though already in the UK, biggest UK fight, from a monetary standpoint, that fight is going to break even more records now. Because now he's got the American populace back focused on him. Remember, Russell was Deontay Wilder. That was our guy here in the States. Then he lost, and we kind of just forgot about the heavyweight division. Outside of Usyk, the fanfare ain't been that high. Now, our fanfare around Anthony Joshua over here, reintroducing himself, which means that fight with Tyson Fury is more likely going to take place without any negative ends from Tyson Fury. There was a glint of hesitation because we know how Tyson Fury flip-flops will leave. If the money ain't right, he'll go and cause a bunch of problems. He'll go and walk away from all this stuff. But with this, I think now this is going to be Usyk Fury level. This is going to be Usyk Fury 1 level type money, if not more. With this type of buzz around AJ now, closest he's been to the consummate, globally known star since his rise to the top with this Jake Paul fight, it's going to be Usyk Fury 1 level numbers, if not more. And because of that type of money, I guarantee you, Fury ain't pulling out of that. Fury isn't going to make no qualms over that. Fury will even have a whole situation where he'll probably say, "You took you 6 rounds to beat this cat." But he's a terrible mover. I know how to move. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing with me. So he's probably gonna feel even more confident in taking this fight. Hence, a super fight that we've all been waiting to see finally is gonna happen. And boy, I can't wait. I just can't wait. It's going to be a phenomenal time. But as we digress, we still have more stuff to cover in the world of boxing. Real quick, we are going to get to don't worry, we are going to get to the Junto Nakatani card. Be clear. Be clear. We're going to get to the Junto Nakatani. No, you know what? We're going to get to that. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. So we're trying to push that back just a little bit. Tease the masses. But before we get to that, though, I do want to touch on something pretty concerning involving the world of Shakur Stevenson. And that's Shakur disrespecting the GOATs of the boxing world. Now, why do I say that in terms of one of the greatest minds that we got in boxing today? Disrespecting the greats. Well, if I play the clip right here for you all to see, this has been something of a constant concerning issue that I don't know why, but it's a continued sentiment that Shakur does not respect the legends of the past, even though he is one of the biggest, for one of the smartest minds that this game has to offer. Outright, straight up. I think this time it was against, what was it? Was it against Roberto? Let me see. I thought I had the clip up here, but I think that's the wrong clip. I just want to make sure I get it right so I can make sure I tell you all the correct stuff. Where's it? I know it's here. He had talked down and disrespected over the course of a couple interviews. I know it was one that came out this week about the likes of some of the greats in the world of the past. And he called Sugar Ray Robinson a bum. And then it was somebody else he called. Was it Roberto Duran? Was it Duran that he also said wasn't that great either? What was it? I'm going to find, if I can find the clip, I'll find the clip. But essentially, I don't know why he continues to have this identity of people of the past ain't that great. People of the past can't work like they're supposed to work. People of the past ain't able to be successful like they're supposed to be successful. I don't know why, with somebody who's such a seemingly a pugilistic purist from the standpoint of boxing, technical ability, and all that stuff. I don't get it. I don't understand it in the slightest. Also, we got people in the chat right now. Real quick, I just watched the INOUE Picasso arrival. What you think about that fight? Well, actually, shoot. Okay, we can push Shakur Stevenson back a little bit. We can go on and delve into Junto and Nakatani. Hey, forget Shakur. We don't need that. Hey, we're good. We're moving on. No problem there. Like I said, y'all control the show. We'll touch on Shakur later because I do got some stuff I want to say about that. But I do got some stuff I want to say about that Shakur fight. And there was another clip about Shakur. And Shakur fighting Keyshawn Davis that I do want to play because it's when I told you all in the past they're going to be tested and it's going to get to a point where you're going to start seeing some cracks in that solidarity. First it was no money. Now he actually was able to put a price tag on what it would take to fight Keyshawn Davis. The little things starting to like I said, that small snowball. The closer they get, some might have to go down. But either way, we'll talk about that later because apparently the public wants to talk about again Picasso and INOUE. And this fight is a fight again. This is going to be a fight that is in INOUE's wheelhouse. Now, what do I mean by that? This is I mean this is a fight that is easy. Be clear. It's not meaning this is a fight that is boring. This does not mean this is a fight that's just going to be a walk in the park for the likes. Though we assume it's going to be that easy. Though we assume that, yeah, Inoue is just Inoue, and he's going to be able to do whatever he wants to do. Understandable, because he's that great of a fighter. There is still going to be some opposition because of the fact that David Picasso, hey man, that buddy, he will come forward and do some real damage. From the standpoint of his willingness to trade. I believe he is a Mexican descendant boxer. Let me make sure I got that correct. Let me make sure I have it correct. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, 17, 20, 32 and 1. My apologies. Undefeated officially with only one draw. 17 knockouts on his resume. Second ranked super bantamweight in the world. Like I said, still knocking him down 1-5. This ain't just mind you, this is the second best, at least per box rate, second best ranked super bantamweight in the world. When this is going into Junto, and they're scheduled to fight apparently already signed as a done deal for May. So it's like, but it's still ain't ducking no smoke, and I don't get it. I'm shocked that he's taking this fight that is difficult. But he's gonna be giving a whole bunch of pressure anyway yet again. And it's gonna be an exciting fight. It's gonna be another outright war-driven slickness versus aggression from the standpoint of Inoue and his counterpunching, his ability to go through and make you miss and make you pay. He'll still be in the fire with you. And if he chooses to roll with you, hey, he'll walk you down and we'll say, okay, listen, we'll play chicken and see who wins. He will go that route. He can go that route. He has gone that route before. Why? Because he's just that good. He's just that good of a fighter. He's just that good of a boxer. He's just that good of a boxer. And he'll go there. And we should see, in a way, come through and put up a more definitive performance, even than we saw with Ahmed Ali. And by that I mean, knock him out. That's what I mean. Knock him out. It's going to be a clean sweep. I think it's going to be another clean sweep. Yes, can Inoue get countered and put down? Yes, it can happen. We know it can happen before. But I think it's going to be a clean sweep that we see Inoue come through and more, again, the similar benevolent dominance that we saw against MJ or against Marlon Tapales. That was it. Well, no, the Marlon Tapales fight actually was pretty tough. I don't think it's going to be like that. But stamped with a KO, a viable KO. And watch, and here's what you need to understand. Both Nakatani and Inoue are going to look and make a statement with each other. They're not just going to go and try to survive the night. If they go down, they go down. But they know the other is across the ring. They are going to look to make a major statement heading into the fight to show each other I'm the top dog. They did it when each of them were just in the arena. Junto when he fought Nishida, when Inoue was just sitting watching. The brother put on one of the most reckless and destructive performances we had seen in his career, getting a stoppage. Swelling up on Nishida's face, out like 4 inches. The entire side. It was insane. The more upcuts than I've ever seen him ever throw in his career. In one fight. It was ridiculous. They looking to make a mark. They're looking to make a mark, and I can't wait to see it. I just can't wait to see it. Let me see. Picasso does a lot of this. He used to train in Tijuana, where I live. Oh, shoot. Oh, you from Tijuana? Oh, man, how you do that? Oh, shoot. Dang. I didn't know I got down that far. I didn't know I was reaching that far around the globe. Hey, how you doing? Greetings from down south. Over here in the States. But let me keep on reading. Trained out here in I believe it's pronounced Tijuana, where I live, and he's not faster, stronger, or more skilled or more skillful than Inoue. Nakatani is really close there behind Inoue. And It, this fight's going to be so interesting because let me rephrase that. This fight's going to be really interesting because I'm almost sure they're not going to leave anything hidden against what their opponent can see from them. With how both Nakatani and Inoue are wired. We see sometimes when a fighter fights, they've been training for something, they're trying to fight one specific guy, and they don't use that one tool that they want to say, hey, this is the killer for you. This is what's going to get you out of there. They don't want to show that. They don't want to expose that to their opposition that they're trying to build up the fight to. They don't want that. However, Nakatani and Inoue, the way they're wired, they don't care if you see what they might try to do to you. They don't care if you know what their weapon of choice is going to be. With this fight, as a precursor, they don't care whether or not you witness what is an exposed weakness or strength when you're in the ring with your opposition, leading into you two's mega fight in terms of Inoue and Junto. They don't care. They just want intimidation, destruction, and move on to the next big thing. Period. That's how both of them are wired. If you watch their careers, there's nothing that they're gonna do to hide what they are capable of, which is gonna make for two fights that are gonna be so explosive. And most likely, if everything goes right, if everything goes quote unquote according to plan, we're gonna see a performance that's going to have an even more 50-50 level standpoint. We're going to see a performance that's going to be even more from a respective skill set standpoint. We're going to see a performance that's most likely going to show the two best aspects of them leading into their fight. Most likely. If we thought this fight was close before, just wait till after this weekend. There's going to be people, I guarantee you, there might be people switching their picks depending on how the night goes, depending on how the performance goes. And any two types of performances could be something spectacular. If we see Nakatani do a 12-round masterclass of destruction and artistry with his length and that long left straight, and then we see Inoue knock Picasso out in 2 rounds, and we're going to have questions, which one do you value more? The immediate destructive power or the absolute bludgeoning, sapping force of Nakatani? Looking like the stinking, what was that? What was that toy? Stretch Armstrong. That's what it was, Stretch Armstrong. Being able to reach you across the ring with that stinging long torso, making that whatever, 68, 67-inch reach turn into like a doggone 75-inch reach. I don't get it. It's still, it doesn't make any sense to this day, but it works. It worked so well. It worked so well. This fight is going to show the very best of each fighter. Leading into their mega clash, it's going to make a lot of people potentially change their minds about who they got winning. Potentially. Not saying it will, but potentially. Boy, if it lives up to that, man, that event's going to be so good. That event's going to be so good. Let me see. Also, they're focused on breaking down Picasso, and I would assume so. I really would assume so. Also, Daryl Anderson, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you, please leave a like on the stream if you are here. It helps the show out immensely. Helps to put the show to the masses. Helps everybody to see exactly what's going on the hottest show in all of the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and all that jazz. But when we're looking at this fight, they'll look to break down Picasso. They'll look to do it. But again, this is Inoue that we're talking about. As much as he can stick to a game plan, if you're ready to go, he'll get you out of there. He will get you going. That's why I said we could see two of the best types of performances, in a very stark contrast to each other. Because we could see Nakatani beat up his opponent in the Kingdom Come and it lasts a long time. And then we see, anyway, if the knockout's there, all right, boom, well, I'll take you out in 3. Which one do you think? What's the better performance? I don't know. It's just, but what that can lead to as a story for this fight, it's gonna be so incredible. Oh gosh, I can't wait for it. Let me see. You think Inoue is fighter to you? That's you know what? That's actually a really good question. I was hoping honestly, this would be a question I would love to have if I was able to answer it. No, I am able to answer it. And I would love to ask this. I wish we had some more people in the chat, because this is a really good question. It's a really good question. It's a really good question because it's a tie. It's a tie between Inoue and Crawford. Inoue fighting 4 times a year, dominating, going through and still, and beating Ahmed even the way that he did in such a. Excuse me. Let me phrase it. Not a tie. Let me rephrase that. It's not a tie. It's a 3-way. It's a 3-way race. Bam. Inoue. Crawford. Those 3. Bam, Inoue, and Crawford. Crawford, yes, it was only 1 fight this year, but he fought Canelo and beat him. He coming up 2 weight classes, beat him clean in a performance that was dominant, decisive, and cemented himself at such a, not just as the undisputed super middleweight champion, not just as pound for pound best in the world, but in my opinion as the 10th best fighter I've ever seen in history. That one win can overshadow a litany of other accomplishments because of the absurdity of that level of success, even if it's only a one-time deal. That's hard. But in the totalitarian sense, I would have to say, in a way, if we're going to look at the whole picture, but it's subjective, because if you think that, because again, understand what we were saying about that Crawford Canelo fight. We were saying that this should not happen. We were saying this is a fight that not only was completely out of proportion, people weren't asking for it up until it started ramping up, and the preposterous nature of if Crawford coming up, who started his career at 135, beat Canelo, who was unstoppable at 168. There wasn't a soul that could beat this man at 168 outside Dave Benavidez, from everybody's moniker, myself included. And he beat him. Even though I picked him, I said this would be one of the most incredible things I've ever witnessed, rivaling some of the greatest feats we've seen in boxing history, upsets and or accomplishments. This win has that much weight to it. There is no denying that. That one win nullified, or again, in my opinion, that one win, up until we saw Inoue beat Ahmed Ali, that one win cleared that brother as the best pound for pound fighter in the world. Cleared him. It cleared him. That one win cleared Crawford as the best pound for pound fighter in the world over everybody. With one win, nothing else. Benavidez has fought multiple times. Inoue fought multiple times. Ben was getting ready to fight for a third or second time for a belt. Shakur fought William Zepeda. We're seeing people moving through in ebbs and flows throughout multiple weight classes. All of that stopped once Crawford won that one fight. That's how impactful that one win was. So it feels, good gosh, man, it feels really wrong not to give it to him. But I can't if we're going to be consistent because of the activity and the density that both Bam and Inoue, more specifically Inoue, has done over the course of this year. I can't overlook that. If I did, that would be ridiculous to me. Beating Cardenas and beating Akmadali, shoot, he beat who he beat also in that same year. Who was it? Who was he fought? I want to make sure I put this in the right context. I want to make sure I give you all the best possible level of information and activity for what's actually going on, what's actually going down, and what's actually going on. It was Cardenas. It was Akmadali. It was that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Yi Jun Kim, which would have been the likes of Sam Goodman if Sam Goodman didn't get injured. So he's fought 3 times this year. 2 of them have been against arguably the best contending super bantamweight in the world, in Akmadali. And then Cardenas, who stepped on the scene and all of a sudden had a 4-fight win streak leading into his fight, coming down from 130. Looking unstoppable. Jay just had another knockout against Robles. It looked incredible. Knockout of the year. Contender. That brother's legit. And he beat them all. He beat them all. And again, he would have beaten. If Sam Goodman had actually been healthy, he would have beat him too. He would have beat him too. He would have beat him too. And it's like, that's impressive. That's impressive to the point where I would have to give it to him. I would have to, at least to me. Let me see. Darius, I believe Inoue is number 1. But people are forgetting the activity anyway. Yeah, they are. They are. Like, that's how great that one win by Crawford made everybody forget everything else because it was that impressive. But activity and density, it's hard to say that Inoue doesn't deserve that top spot. Inoue has defended his titles more, the most energetic fighter, but also Crawford did the impossible, going up the weight classes, and Usyk taking everybody, even young fighters, Dubois, and beating up Joshua. Yeah, you're right. Now, granted, Usyk's only fought 1 time this year. And that Dubois win, even at 38 years old, that's impressive. Beating him better than you beat him the first time. Definitely impressive. Absolutely deserves our respect. It absolutely it does. Oh, no question. The fact that he's saying he got 5 more fights left up until the age of 41, and he's still good to go. Like, hey, man, that Crawford just retired, and Usyk's still going at 38, and Crawford's 38. So, buddy, if he does indeed continue this, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. But because it's only 1 fight, and there's already another fight in that 1 fight category that has trumped every other jump that 1 fight could make somebody bump up to in Terrence Crawford, I can't put Usyk there. He's still top 3 pound for pound, but I can't put Usyk there. Not for me. I just can't do it. But let me see. He became 2-time undisputed within a year after Crawford. How can we not give it to Inoue? I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, we're basing off of this year. It would have. It's the only other person will be Bam. Or the only other person would be Bam if it isn't Inoue. And if it isn't Crawford, it's either Bam or arguably David Benavidez. Arguably David Benavidez deserves to be in that conversation at least. You can say he doesn't win it. He deserves to be in that conversation. But it went through, fought Gavas, again afterwards fought David Morrell early, I believe earlier this year. And then ended this year by fighting Anthony Yarde, who was considered top 5, top 3 light heavyweight in the world, who had only been stopped by Artur Beterbiev and Kovalev. More in-prime versions of him. And you dominated him for 8 rounds, and then you put him, you knocked him out. You busted up his face and you knocked him out. Like and we thought you didn't have knockout power. That performance was incredible. With you being WBA champion, defending your titles, or defending your title, Though, yes, you didn't win it in the ring, you still were a champion. You performed like it and kept on fighting competition. He deserves a spot in that conversation. I'm not saying he wins it, but he showed enough deserves to be in there. Just like he sure enough deserves to be in pound for pound conversations. If you don't have Dave Benavidez in the pound for pound, I don't know what to tell you. What else does he have to do? And if he beats Zerto at cruiserweight in his first fight up there, and you still don't say he ain't got nothing, what else can you say? I don't know what else he has to do to prove and make sense of something. I don't know. Let me see. In a way, it's keeping boxing exciting and making making less than Usyk and Crawford, Canelo, and even Paul. And that's another. Well. Let me say this. I'm not gonna say that he is making less than Canelo and Crawford and Usyk. Understand? Yeah, the box office appeal, absolutely. But in Japan, this man is indeed one of the 3 biggest faces in their entire country. I guarantee you, he is making bank. It should be more bank on their level. Tank's making more money than him. If we're going to talk about from a one-fight scenario, especially if it's a big-type fight appeal, And that's wrong. We know that's dead wrong. Jake Paul, we already established he played the game, and boxing let him play it. Hence why he was able to be a con artist and make this money while not doing anything. But he deserves more. Top Rank should push his brother more. We should be hearing more about him. Where is the marketing for this type of global superstar that should be on everybody's mind? They are doing him a disservice, and it's disgusting. It's terrible. He should be up here. In a way, should be up here from a monetary standpoint. In a way, should be up here with the Crawfords and Juntos, or with the Crawfords, with the Usyks, with the Canelos, with the Tanks. Way above Jake Paul, all that stuff. He should be. It's a shame that he isn't, because he has everything. It's almost the same issue with Terrence Crawford. From the standpoint of marketability, he's not getting where he deserves to be. But I'm going to tell you why after I read some of your chats. Bam and Benavidez are the next pound for pound best fighters. It's most likely Bam, Benavidez, or Shakur are going to be in the future rounding out those top 3. Bam, Shakur, Benavidez are going to be the 3 that are fighting for who's the best pound for pound fighter in the world. They're going to be the 3. I can almost assure you they're going to be the 3. And that's going to be so impressive. Let me see. Tay, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. What's going on, man? So glad you're back. So glad you're here. And again, but please leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. Keep on sharing the show. We want to have a bunch of conversation. We've been talking about Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. We talked about Anthony Joshua's career going forward. We talked about Jake Paul's career going forward. We talked about where each of them the skill set between Joshua versus Tyson Fury, INOUE versus Junto Nakatani. We've been talking about it all. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything. So please keep on liking and keep on commenting your thoughts and opinions. And hey, if you want to support the show, we have Cash App and PayPal. Links down below in the description if you would like to support. And super chats, super gifts, and all that stuff. If you can give, would mean the world to me. Absolutely, to help make this show bigger and better. But as we continue on, INOUE not that big in America. And again, that is the problem. It's the same issue that Crawford had when he was in America. And he was in America. If we want to talk about regional appeal, he was exciting. He was impactful, undefeated, knockout artist, one of the strongest punchers that boxing had, one of the strongest fighters, period, boxing had. He was calculating. He was a dog. No fight was boring. And everybody else still got more shine than him. In part because, again, marketing. I keep harping on this. Whatever promotion anybody's a part of, marketing is a big issue for why they are or are not able to get pushed to the stratosphere. Anthony Joshua, when he was on top of the world and even now, afterwards, yes, he looks good. Yes, he's tall, all that stuff, and he's a dominant fighter. But even with that, he was marketed as a brand and as a name that you had to pay attention to. INOUE has had that happen in spurts. When he came to America the third time against Cardenas, when he was fighting Ahmed Ali a little bit, but it wasn't nearly to what it's supposed to be as a consistent, growing beacon of light. Tell everybody, look at me. He broke records on Facebook when they viewed it for over a couple million people tuned into his fight when he was fighting on Facebook just to see what his brother was about. He had done it all, and everybody wants to see him. They do. They really do. But also, he's not being pushed to people that don't know him as somebody that should be seen. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. Because boxing has always been a couple faces as the big name in sport. And everybody else kind of falls by the wayside except for where you are from or region. Sometimes you cross over, sometimes you don't. Even Bam, big time fighter. We know that brother's exciting. He's accomplished more than most, if not all, of the boxing world right now. He's accomplished more than most of the boxing world today. Barring Crawford and INOUE and Usyk, barring them three, he's accomplished more than just about anybody else in the boxing world. And Canelo. Yet he is still relatively unknown on a grand scale beyond boxing purists. That just shouldn't happen. That just shouldn't happen. And he can't be big in America. I just hate the fact he's not. How is Tank making more than INOUE while INOUE is the international face of boxing? Tank is, and again, like I don't have the numbers in front of me, and it doesn't make sense. But there is a reason why Tank Davis has been seen as one of the three faces of boxing, because his events bring out every single big-time celebrity across the globe. And everybody that I know and people that I don't know that man's name. He is, whether we like it or not, a needle mover. He is a paper pusher. This brother can sell, and can sell insanely well. He's a draw, the likes of which, sadly, outside of Japan, INOUE is not. But it's not because he's a better fighter. It's because his brand has been able to be cultivated, to be seen as must-see and copied. INOUE can get up to that same beloved nature that we saw the likes of Manny Pacquiao get up to. But also, HBO, Top Rank, whenever the world was hosting the fights with Manny Pacquiao, they made Manny Pacquiao feel special as he kept accomplishing all this stuff. His Philippine support grew. And when America saw him, which one of the first instances that America saw him, well, I think was against Oscar De La Hoya on a big major scale. I know he won the championship moving up. I believe it was on the ESPN card that kind of put him on the scene as like a big upset win. But like that was, boom, that was it. Then fighting against Eric Morales, those awards, all of that, when he got put in front of the faces of some of the most rabid fans out there, they gravitated to him. And afterwards, they then kept pushing him consistently as a marketable star, a family man, a church-going man. They used everything in the book. He's a Christian. Oh, he's a knockout artist. Oh, he's a family man. He loves his wife. He's funny. He likes to laugh. He plays around in training camp. He's got a ridiculous workout regimen. He's a relentless warrior behind the scenes and in the ring. And he helps his people out in the Philippines, giving back to his community, giving back to the country. He was they were using the fact that he was changing the very makeup of the economy as a means to help bolster Pacquiao and his footprint in boxing. They did it for him, and they can do it for INOUE too if they just went and took the time, like they do with Tank. Talk about him every time. Bring up his name constantly. Make him a poignant fixture in conversation. Pose this fight with Junto as the worthy type of super fight that it's supposed to be. Make him feel big, because he is big. At least that's what I try to do on here. Hopefully I'm doing a good job of it. But yeah, man, it is a shame. Let me see. Yeah, but anyways, making more than any Japanese boxer ever. He is. But he should be making more than that. He should be making more than that. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. Because he's that good, man. I think boxing is the popular sport, the most popular, make more money. Yeah, that's the case. How you get popular is it's not necessarily luck of the draw, but it's definitely you. Exposure leads to gravity, which then leads to a launch pad. Whether you take advantage of that, who knows? But they got to, if it's people do it, it can be up there. Let me see. Just because some people don't want to watch the smaller weight class, that's honestly why. Like I said, Pacquiao was an anomaly. And you have people like the Eric Moraleses, Julio Cesar Chavez, again, that was more so 147. But like Ricardo Lopez and all that stuff, these lower weight classes, the greatness is there. But the appeal is not. And when I say this, I don't say this in a negative light. I don't say this as a we're better than everybody else. But one of the biggest aspects of boxing has been, if you can make it in America, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. If you get put on a pedestal here in the States, simply because of how track record is shown, it bolsters you to a different stratosphere. People in the UK are talking about Tank Davis. People across the world, when Deontay Wilder was hot, even though Tyson Fury was better, was talking about him in the same breath. And while Usyk, doing all the work that he was doing, got under the radar by a whole bunch of people up until he got up to heavyweight. And even then, it took some time before everybody now got into the acclaim. Oh my gosh, it's Usyk. What the world? This man's incredible. It took him beating Tyson Fury to get that level of respect. It did. But Wilder was already neck and neck with Fury from the standpoint of identity, not just because they fought, but before they fought. Why? Simply because, one, knockout artist, absolutely. Two, yes, he was a champion. But three, he was from the States, and we pushed him as the Alabama Hammer, the Bronze Bomber. He was a household name that got forced onto the public eye. Anthony Joshua didn't need the U.S. to become big. But when he got to the U.S., that Ruiz fight was supposed to be the fight that sends him over the moon as it would have been, if he had won that fight, he would have been the biggest name in British boxing history. I stand by that. I stand by it. He's already, mind you, look at what he already was. Look at what he already was when he was on top of the globe. He was one of the four biggest names in the sport. If he had beat Andy Ruiz in that fight, in that first fight in Madison Square Garden, New York City, I promise you, his stratosphere of acclaim, with as big as it already was, and even as big as it is right now, would have been on a completely different level. A completely different level. So far and away. It would have been different. It would have been so different. It's ramming back up now simply because of this win with Jake Paul. And everybody in America all of a sudden remember, oh my gosh, hey, wait, I remember Anthony Joshua. Shoot, yeah, this buddy good. He still got that power. Oh, man, I want to see him again. And he won this time. Oh, gosh. If you make it here, it's not the end-all, be-all of the states. Trust me. But there's no denying this is one of the meccas that is the most accentuated, or rather the most positioned to set you up to explode onto the world stage. Canelo, when he got notarized here in the States, that's when everybody was saying, okay, yeah, this is the face of boxing. Once he got established here in the States, though he already was the face of Mexico when he was at the top. Like, once he won that undisputed title, and when he fought Caleb Plant, specifically when he fought Caleb Plant, you could either, actually, which one you want to go with? You want to go with Kirkland? When he knocked out Kirkland when everybody blew up about that? Nigga, we can even say before 168. At 154. Pre-Floyd and after Floyd. The man was a household name here in America as well as across the globe, but here in the States, we were pushing him. And we were paying him stupid amounts of money. Because all of a sudden, the people here cared. It sounds bad. I'm not trying to say that America's better. Trust me, especially now. We ain't. Especially now. For a lot more reasons than one. But we ain't good. But that needle moving metric still somewhat revolves around, can you capture the American populace as well as the world? Because you can capture the world and you don't capture America, you ain't making nearly as much money. Because Tank is the biggest thing since sliced bread over here, and he's making more money than most of the talented, insanely talented and gifted boxers over in the UK, over in Mexico, and all across Europe and Asia. And that's not right, but he's got the gravity of everybody in this country wants to pay. They'll pay $16,000 for a seat for him because he got pushed. Market told to the public, this guy's worth watching. Not just on a one-time affair, but every single time out. That's what it needs to be for everybody else as well. That's the thing. Let me see. Shoot, I'm trying to make sure I can catch everybody. Imagine if Tank be doing what INOUE doing, active, beating everybody champion. If Tank was doing what INOUE's doing right now, forget being the best in the world, people would be talking about him as this might be the best fighter of ever. The same way Floyd was getting talked about. If Tank was doing the same stuff that INOUE was doing now, or Bam was doing now, either one of them, even Dave Benavidez, or early Canelo, he takes any of those paths and he never lost. He is getting talked about. Okay, is he better than Floyd? Is this the best fighter of our generation? You think I'm playing? I'm not. In part, there's a saying in the NBA where there's a bunch of stars that did some great stuff. If somebody had done the exact same work on a different team, they would have been viewed higher up. Take, for example, Dr. J. behind. Julius Erving was the face of the NBA and ABA. Two leagues at once, and he wasn't even in the NBA when he was the face of basketball at one point in time. This man was the best player in the world, period, in the 70s, going into the 80s. When the ABA merged, they merged in part because they were losing interest in this cat and ABA basketball, black style playground basketball. And they were calling that thuggish, ghetto, uncoordinated, a disrespect to the game, playing above the rim. That's how his game was talked about. Him, David Thompson, George Gervin, and early Ernest Gilmore. Shoot, Rick Barry, who played in the ABA as well. I think even Hubie Brown might have been in there too. Old as he is. But that was seen as negative, his style of play. But people still loved it anyway. When he got to the NBA and got to the Sixers, 76ers, immediately, he was the best player in the world. That's not me trying to be biased. That's legit. He was the face of basketball when he was in his prime in the 70s. And he went and took the world by storm. If he had played in Los Angeles and put up the exact same stats that he put up instead of Philly, even though Philly was still a great powerhouse at that point in time, or excuse me, they had a good team. They got the finals a couple times. They were good. Amongst that Celtics-Lakers rivalry, this brother was still standing alone. Hey, yo, I am one of the big three faces, and I was before Magic and Bird. I was the face, period. But if he had played in L.A. or Boston instead of Philly, scoring over 30,000 points, same stats, getting positioned at that point in time as the third highest scorer in NBA history, with all the all-star appearances, all the championships, with the ABA championship combined, you do all of that, but you end your career in L.A., he would have been viewed as a completely different player. He would have been viewed as a completely different player. An even better player, just because of his position in the league and who was attached to his name. As great as Philadelphia is, and it's great, L.A., you say you play for Los Angeles and you end your career in Los Angeles, it affects it immensely. Immensely. It's not fair that just who you play for cannot bolster your cachet of what you look like, but that's the case. And if Tank, simply by being from the States and having America as his base home, if Tank did the same thing INOUE did, now he will be looked at, let me phrase it. He would have already been looked at as the best boxer in the world. He would have already been looked at as the best boxer in the world. And on top of that, this win against Canelo for Terrence Crawford, though deservedly, it put him above the top of everybody else in the world. There would be a strong pushback to say Tank is still the best in the world, simply because of the push that would have derived and the momentum that would have been garnered from him being from the States, from America, and doing all that work and all the marketability that comes with it. With what we see with the cachet right now. People are saying he's better than INOUE now. People are saying he's better than Bam now. People saying he's better than Terrence Crawford now. Post Lamont Roach. Still, that same cultic level of infatuation would have captured the hearts and minds even more. Even more. If he had done actual work because of where he's from. It's insane and it's not fair. But we know that's what we've seen. We know that's what we've seen. And that's why I kept saying he kept shooting himself in the foot. Because he doesn't have to work that INOUE does. He doesn't have to work that Bam does. This man goes to the stratosphere of everybody's going to put him at top 3, period. You couldn't tell nobody nothing if he went that route, simply because where he's from, that would have added on to the already established zeitgeist surrounding his identity with no work whatsoever. It would have been insane if he did it. But sadly, he never will. Sadly, he never will. Let me see. And yet, Tank hasn't even done anything with what INOUE is doing is still making more money. Yeah, I don't like it, but that's the thing. People are buying and paying for Tank. People are paying for Tank. They're paying for INOUE as well, but he's fighting over there. We start seeing people fly over there to pay for him. Yeah, we'll start seeing that more often. AJ is now America's British hitman about. Yes, he's a hitman. Even though this was a spectacle, Anthony Joshua has now completely reinvigorated himself back into the American populace as a Greek god Adonis who came through and ended our displeasure in Jake Paul and ended our suffering. He's a golden goose. He's a hero to everybody across the world, and he did it here in the States. He did it in Miami, Florida. Men, women, and children all clamoring to see what this brother's doing. Oh my gosh. From the looks to the style to the power to the already established career, coupled with the money. Yeah, this brother's, he's back on top. He's back on top of the world. Can he sustain it? I don't know. But that connective crossover, it's back. Because everybody here is still talking about Anthony Joshua. And everybody here is finding out about Anthony Joshua. And everybody here is consistently watching. And what? I guarantee you, leading into this fight and post-fight, watch how many people look at, I wish we could compare the views on Anthony Joshua highlights before this Jake Paul fight versus subsequently after, when everybody was getting reintroduced to him. Who is this cat? And looking at what he can do. I wish we could see those views, because I guarantee you that will tell the exact story of how he has gotten back into the emotions of American boxing fans. And that full global appeal he's gotten back to. That full global appeal he's back to. Will it last? I don't know, but he's back there. I wonder if Mike Tyson goes to an INOUE fight, would it boost his trajectory? It would. It would. But what would have to happen is he goes to a fight and then he does an interview going on and on about this cat. Like he did with David Benavidez. Now, granted, it's, hot boxing with Mike Tyson, that's no longer going on. So he discontinued because he said, we want to wrap this show up. Pleasure to all of y'all for tuning in. Great show. Great interview. But he goes on another podcast and you take out time to let him talk about him like that. Yeah, people start taking some interest. They will. And do you know the crazy part about INOUE somewhat does not, excuse me. Hold on, let me make sure I'm reading this right. And do you know the crazy part about is INOUE somewhat doesn't care about being number one. He doesn't. He just fighting. No, he thinks he's the best in the world. He said that in the interview. Hey, be clear now. Don't get it twisted. He does think he's the best in the world. He does think he's the best in the world. Full stop. Without any recourse. He does believe he's the best pound for pound boxer in the world. Over INOUE, over Crawford, over Usyk, over no matter who you think of. He believes that he's the best, and he has said it. But I'm gonna tell you this. The only thing he'll care about it at a fervent level, after his career is done. Because he ain't wasting time. Let me see. I'm from Maryland, and I can tell you, Tank is nowhere near the face of boxing. Really? No. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a second. Now, this is a new debate. So, you're from Maryland. You're from, is it Virginia? Yeah, Maryland, Baltimore, kind of that area surrounding. And you're saying that Tank's not the face of boxing, with you being around what would seem to be one of the more relevant aspects of the hotbed of fandom. That's interesting. This is almost interesting as when Fight Buzz TV, which again I hope we see him back in the chat, because I would love to hear him talk and ask him some questions about what he feels with Benavidez and a couple other things. But he said, because I believe he's from Mexico. He said that Benavidez and Canelo, at the time of him commenting, the fandom for that whole country was split. Because they were getting sick of Canelo the way he wasn't fighting Benavidez. And they started latching on to Benavidez as the, not new it guy, but the true embodiment of boxing for the country. And so he was starting to get half love, half hate for Canelo. And everybody was leaving for the Benavidez side. If people aren't as big of fans as Tank as they used to be in Maryland, of all places, I would love to know who's the new guy that's taking up that reign now over in that city. Because And why did he lose it? Why did he lose seemingly a established foothold on the populace if this is indeed true? Because it seemed like that brother was untouchable. You go to Baltimore, it's Lamar Jackson, it's Tank Davis, straight up. That's it. That's who runs the city. Those two run the city. Even though the Ravens have been struggling, in a respectfully in a bad way. To some degree, it's because Derrick Henry ain't been performing like he's supposed to. Though he had 125 plus yards last game, great. I think Lamar Jackson got injured last game, sadly, but they ain't getting the quick side look. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that experiment. And please get rid of Daniel Falele, or as he aptly called Falala. Please, on Baltimore's O-line. Please do. That brother can't block for nothing. He is having Lamar scramble for his life for no good reason. No good reason whatsoever. Why in the world is he not been replaced? Or not been put on leave until he gets himself right? I don't understand it. My gosh. You got a quarterback that should be able to take you into a decade plus of competitive nature, into a Super Bowl contender, and you are letting him go and get ran around by every defense imaginable because of the fact that you and Daniel Falala cannot block to save your life on any getting turned around and nobody's near you. How? You look at somebody in the face and you let them just walk by for as if they're stinking where? Not Kevin Ware. What was his name? What's his name? Ware. Played for the Broncos. Played for Dallas. What was his name? I'm trying to think of his name. But either way, you know what I'm saying. Like everybody's Nick Bosa. Why? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And it's like, DeMarcus Ware. That's what I was thinking. DeMarcus Ware. That's what I was thinking of. Excuse me. But I'm sorry. I'm a Carolina fan. Boy, it hurts my soul seeing him and a bunch like that. But I digress. Outside of Lamar Jackson and outside of Tank Davis, I don't know who else runs that city like that from an athletic standpoint. And if Tanks loses his foothold in Baltimore, good gosh, that's not after what I saw INOUE do. Even if he just the International Fist of Boxing, this is just my take. I don't. Oh, okay. No problem. But I won't say this. I will say this. I wouldn't be surprised if that same sentiment is starting to seep through the minds of fans around the city and beyond. Because it's not a Tank episode, be clear. This ain't just me trying to go through. It's a Junto INOUE. It's a Joshua Jake Paul, and we still got championship rounds. Be clear, we ain't trying to drone on. But in the ramifications of Tank, this is the mindset that I've been having when it comes to how his career has been falling. There are going to be more people that think like you, that start to see him. You know what? I don't think this brother is all that. I don't. I'm starting to get more reclusive on how I feel about him as a fighter. Maybe my support doesn't need to be as vocal as it used to be, because stuff has changed. Now, granted, he's had some outside the ring problems, absolutely. He's had a bunch of stuff that's kept him out of the ring to be able to actually show stuff. But it's also in ring. The brother ain't done stuff to be able to be successful. From the standpoint of taking on opposition that is worth his time. From that perspective, which again I don't like. I can't stand. I hate, but it's the truth. I hate it. And so, with the established nature of Tank bumping down for a lot of people, further bleeds into the notion that if more people do think like you, not saying they do because you don't speak from Maryland, but don't be surprised if that's actually how some people feel, because the sport has left Tank behind. For better or for worse, they left him behind. Because he left him behind, the world of boxing has become more adamant and more easily accessible. Because the tunnel vision of Tank and Tank alone is no longer the only thing that matters. Now we're seeing, again, Benavidez. Now we're seeing, INOUE. People just got on Terrence Crawford, and I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people that wish they were looking at him and watching his career more fervently than they were before. Now that it's all of a sudden over. Because you missed out on greatness, and you shouldn't have. But you wasted time. Now they don't want to go through that same potential heartache again, missing out on an all-time great fighter, do great things. So I'm going to go through and work to watch the rest of boxing since I can't get my guy to fight. You know, my gosh, there's a lot of flowers out here that smell pretty good because of the fact that I'm actually outside smelling the roses instead of just in my one spot of land. It helps out a little bit better. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Maybe some people started to hate INOUE after we destroyed Stephen Fulton. They did. I think Stephen Fulton more so shut people up than made them hate him. I didn't get the notion that he got hated. I got the notion that he got shut down. For understand, or rather, Stephen Fulton got shut down. And everybody thought Stephen Fulton was going to be the thing that stops INOUE from being INOUE. But when he proved that he was real, everybody kind of couldn't really say anything. And it went to, okay, respect started really coming into play. Pound for pound, he was getting in everybody's conversation, at least at that point in time. Because again, Fulton at that point was a fringe pound for pound contender. Legitimately. I remember, I made whole videos on it. And to beat him like that was unforeseen in every avenue. So you better believe, I don't think it became hate. I mean, from a certain sect of people, it did become hate. Let me say that. From a certain sect of people, it became hate. From a certain demographic of people, it became ire. It did. It got bad. It got incredibly bad. It got incredibly bad real quick. But that, as he kept on winning, it still kept dying down. It kept dying down. And so, let me see. Teddy Berkshire. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What's going on, brother? Teddy Berkshire. How you doing? Hey, brother, good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. Let's see what you got to say. And I think actually we got a great point to jump into the world of the championship rounds. We're going to still talk about INOUE and all that stuff. We want to give you a chance to have your voice be heard on the conversation of the boxing zeitgeist and just the sports world as a whole. I want to see what you all got to say. So ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any more time. Hey, it's how they do what we do best. And let's jump into the world of the championship round. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one. Not even round one. We're in the championship rounds now. We want to see what you all got to say in anything and everything involving the world of boxing and beyond. So come on in, take your pick, have some fun, join in on the conversation. Movies, television, video games, sports as a whole, boxing, basketball, the NBA. It's kind of repetitive. NBA, NFL, boxing, news and the standings in the NBA, news on the playoff picture in the NFL with the Panthers being in the playoff. Yes, sir, you better believe it. You better believe it. You better believe it. You better believe it, baby. We made it. We made it. We got it. We are one win away from cementing our spot. And all we need to do is Tampa Bay to lose tomorrow, this week. And we win this week. We're in the playoffs, and I can't believe it. Oh, buddy, I haven't felt this excited in almost a decade plus. Oh, I can't wait. If we can make it that far. We got 3 games. We just need to win one more. Pulled out an impressive win against Tampa Bay. Getting an interception against Baker Mayfield. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was preposterous levels of excitement. I can't wait to keep that track going. and beat Baker Mayfield that ruined this franchise with his bum play when he was here. Y'all don't know why he couldn't do this when he was in, well, now that he's in Tampa Bay. Why couldn't he do this here? Well, we did have a bad staff. But either way, we're turning around, which I'm so happy for. But regardless of which, let me get off my NFL soapbox and let me see what you all got to say on today. There will be some who still say anyway was cheating like a South. But what I mean now again. Credit to Southpaw. I don't get into the drama with other creators. They do their thing. I can't. I don't agree with it. If I don't agree with it, I agree with it. If I do agree with it, but they got their sect, and you do you. Credit to you. Hope you have a great day. That's how I approach it. Respect everybody that's involved in the creative community. Unless you acting up, then all of a sudden, you kind of messing up the space. But again, and I'm not gonna apply that to anybody right now. But from the standpoint of these types of allegations, like with what Southpaw and others may bring up, hey man, that ain't good. That ain't cool. That ain't kosher. Because the brother actually has been clean. Now I don't know if he's been accusing a bunch of people of doping every single time they go out there, but it's like wait, hold on. Actually, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Before I continue, hold on. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Is this? Okay, never mind. I was thinking that something was going wrong. That's my fault. I thought something was going wrong. I'm good. Never mind. We good. Well, let me see. Let me keep reading what you all got to say so we can keep this championship rounds going. Caballero up next. Teddy, I would say yes. I would say yes, but it's a little bit of trepidation with now him, as much of a big threat as he is in the heavyweight division as it stands right now, with Usyk, Wardley, Talma quickly rising up to the top. Fury's back in the conversation now since he's returning. And who's that fifth one? Caballero. I think I need to start asking, who can he realistically beat amongst that conversation, since he's now in that conversation? Because I've been talking about him as a big threat for a while. I don't think we've ever pinpointed down though who he can actually beat up here. Now that he is here in this top zenith of the boxing world. So I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it so we can see what you all had to say. AJ not ready for Fury. AJ is not ready for Fury, excuse me. If it took 6 rounds to down the climb. Hey, now, hold on. Wait a minute now. Understand. Like we said at the start of this whole show, breaking down the fight with Jake Paul. Jake Paul ran. He pulled a William Skull. Tyson Fury is a great mover. He ain't fighting like that just to avoid you. He will legit slip and score. Jab, and he can actually hurt you. He will stand and he will fight with you. He will engage. Jake Paul didn't engage. We saw this with Skull and Canelo. We saw this with Charlo and Canelo. We saw this with a litany of fighters in the past year and a half, running versus boxing. So and this actually brings up a good point that I forgot to say at the start of the show. Well, I didn't elaborate on. I don't know how far along we can take this performance as a moniker for what Joshua's going to look like against Fury. I'm not sure. Because this was the brother who wasn't trying to fight and had a 22 by 22 foot ring. Again, we add up all the sides that were added, all the feet that were added to each 4 corners, but that's 8 feet of extra space collectively you got to use to work around, to go and move where angles that you would normally, okay, I got you cornered. You are on the ropes now. Up. No, you're not. You got a lot more space to go. He should have cut off the ring a whole lot better. Yes. He should have been more deliberate in making sure he was aggressive, especially after feeling the power. But That's not how Tyson Fury is going to fight. He's actually going to be there to get hit. He's going to be there to give, to not be just a defensive shell like the bum Jake Paul was, running away like Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez. Like that's not boxing. If you want to run and you don't want to get hit and you just want to be able to survive, even if you don't know what you're doing, it's not easy. Because you're not trying to give there's nothing to play with to go when it comes to the boxing world. You're just trying to just not get hit and just shell up and then run away. Again, like I said, I can't respect it. So Tyson Fury ain't gonna fight like that at all. I need to see AJ against somebody that's actually gonna fight him in this current state to see what he's gonna be like more concretely in the ring. At least for me. Because I couldn't gauge a whole bunch from this fight outside of I see some of the stylistic changes that Usyk and his team have been implementing with him. Pawing out the jab more often, keeping his guard up a whole lot more like he used to back in the day, looking more fluid and having a better bounce in his step. That looks more comfortable with him. Looks a lot closer to what he used to look like when he was at the top of his game running the heavyweight division. But this isn't a qualitative makeup to say what he is as a fighter, at least not right now. Up until we see somebody that is more collectively wanting to actually fight. Because, again, even Mike Tyson had trouble running down people that were just running away. Not because he wasn't skilled at all, but because they weren't trying to get hit. So they would just not engage. They don't want to fight. And even the best of finish, you have a tough time fighting against somebody who just doesn't want to fight at all. Which, again, is why we hate runners. Well, why we don't want this. Half of Jake Paul's purse should have been taken away because of that. I'm glad the ref deducted the point. The ref could have disqualified. The ref should have stopped that running earlier in round 2. When he saw that was going to be the case, he should have stopped that running in round 2. He should have. I wish him, but either way, he still did his job, which I'm so happy for. Let me see. And saying stupid stuff, saying stupid stuff, like water was affected him. What was this? Where was? Oh, in terms of Southpaw, yeah, like I said, I don't. If to each their own in terms of their opinions, I don't agree with it. It's completely false and wrong. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure. It's South. Real quick, so I can make sure. It's Southpaw TV. Let me make sure I got that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Quick detour. Y'all talk about this. Y'all talk about this brother? Y'all talk about this dude up here? This cat? This Southpaw? Yeah, okay. I can't. There was like 2 Southpaws I was thinking of. And so I was trying to remember which one you were referring to. That's why I have an answer a little bit vague. But this is the one. Because if this is the one, yeah, this brother crazy. This cat, this man is out of his mind. In opinions to INOUE and a bunch of other stuff as well. I'm not gonna lie. That's my gosh. All due respect to him. But boy, allegedly, stuff I've heard ain't great.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
Hey, man. Like I said, I respect everybody in the creative space. I really do. I'm not trying to cause beef. I'm not trying to cause nothing like that. But I will say, if somebody is out of pocket like that, that is not okay. The stuff he said, boxing and beyond. Hey man, look, you got an audience. That's what they want. That's what they want. But I vehemently disagree. With respect that I can say, I vehemently disagree with a lot of stuff. Just about everything that brother said. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Let me see. I want to know about. I want to know what female boxers think about. You know what? That's a good question. I don't know why they haven't been asked about that. Because I assume they study these types of other fighters, men and women, to get better. I would love to hear who they think, what they think about anyway. Him versus Crawford, or him versus Canelo, him versus likes of Usyk. Who they feel is the pound for pound number one in their eyes in the world of men's boxing. Because I guarantee you, I would be interested to see what their type of ranking would be. I really would. I really would. Let me say, okay, yeah, that's the one. Okay, yes, that is the one. Yeah, that brother. He all due respect, that brother's out there. He out there going away. You know, oh Lord. I ain't trying to cause no beef, but hey. All I'm going to say is we're going to do what we do on this channel. We're going to grow. Hopefully I can get to the numbers that he's got and more. And hopefully I'm doing a banger job nonetheless. But my gosh, it's oh. Woo! That's that's Lord. Hey, I can't remember. But I bet you that brother was he happy when Canelo lost? I forget. Was he happy when Canelo lost to Crawford? I can't remember. I didn't get to see that reaction. I can't remember if he really loves Crawford or if he really doesn't like Crawford. Or just give me. I can't remember if he really loves Canelo or if he really despises Canelo. It's one or the other. It's either love or hate. It's not love and. There's no and. I can't remember if he loves that brother as a really big fan or if he despises him. If he despises him, my gosh, I would love to have seen his reaction. When Canelo lost that fight to Terrence Crawford, my goodness. But like I said, we are not throwing shots. Be clear. We are just going to go through and do our show. Because, man, we still got so much that we need to cover. Let me see. In my mind, who can't he beat, in my opinion? Oh, talking about Caballero. Well, I don't think he can beat Usyk. I would have him versus Fury, honestly, would be an interesting fight. That would be an interesting fight if we ever got to see Caballero versus Fury. If we're talking and get off the backs of Caballero, I think that's a fight that most likely would never happen. Because Caballero ain't gonna win that type of money. But I would not be mad to see that fight as a potential opportunity in reference to watching him step in the ring and see what he can do against the likes of Fury. That dichotomy of stylistic clash. That would be interesting to see. I had a nightmare of Jake Paul facing Moses. Hey, buddy, that ain't a nightmare, buddy. That's a dream. That's a dream. I don't know why that's a nightmare. I don't know why that's a nightmare. But a time we get paid, we would have another. But I'm telling you, I'm not. When I say that Atama needs to fight Jake Paul now, I am saying that because I want to see Moses Atama talked about as one of the biggest names in the heavyweight division, beyond just a prospect. He's still going to do the work, but I would need that cachet to be up here. Because if he gets the excitement train going, the rest of the heavyweight division, without Usyk, can still sustain itself as a cycle of excitement. Usyk is the boxing world right now, from the standpoint of the heavyweight world. The baddest man on the planet as heavyweight champion. He is what the entire division revolves around, deservedly so. Now, with that being the case, him and the old guard is getting old, with AJ included in that as well. Atama looks like he's up next. Caballero looks like he's up next. All that's well and good, absolutely. However, I want the fervor Like we saw when Anthony Joshua was coming up. Everybody was excited about that. I want that for another heavyweight star. I don't care who it is. To have that buzz, to keep that cycle of who's next, who's next, who's it. I want that. Because it's better for the heavyweight division. If a Talma puts away AJ, or puts away, well, if he puts away AJ, my gosh. But if he puts away Jake Paul in another heavyweight clash, because he's lighter than Anthony Joshua and shorter. More fair from a height perspective, quote unquote. And everybody pays to see him get knocked out, and he knocks out Jake Paul. And with a regulation size ring, and even more destructively, yeah. But his name is made as, yeah, it's not beating Jake Paul, knocking out Jake Paul isn't about you gaining talent. He's turned himself into an instant cash cow for anybody of the prospect to legit notarize the claim. If you want a spectacle and you just want a good time, watch how bad I get knocked out and then go home. He's a jester that everybody wants to see play the fool so they can go home with a laugh. That's where he is. He has positioned himself. He's getting the money, but he's getting paid as an entertainment punching bag. We pay to see you get hurt, and we know you're going to get hurt, so we're not concerned with your well-being. We're concerned with how bad you get hurt, because that's all we want to see. We don't want to see you win. We won't pay for anything that won't be something that will get you surviving. That's what people are leaning towards. So, if boxing's going to take advantage of what's given it to them for the biggest amount of money possible, well, they're going to do the easiest thing. Feed them to a killer that's got a bunch of following. And a Talma would be a perfect guy. Bring him back over to the States. Make that for his first fight in the States. Hey, I'm a Talma. I'm the next guy up. AJ beat him in 6. I'm gonna beat him in 3. Watch. And he goes through and he puts him out in a damaging way. Don't matter that it's not skill, it's the fact that it's just entertainment that will cause people to talk. That's all I want. Because that's what I want for him. Because if he goes and takes that spot as the next guy, with Dubois as the quote-unquote next old guard, and Caballero coming up and all these other, Tena Moana coming up and all that, yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. So any nightmare, it's a drink. I say Caballero's next because he fights next week. But I believe Caballero is tailor-made to beat Usyk. Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know about that. Now, if we're talking about with the body shots, yeah. If we're talking about with the body shots, sure. Yeah, that's enough. That it's body shots and stamina. Yeah, that's enough to affect him. But it's the footwork, and more importantly, I haven't seen Caballero fight on the back foot. And that's the one thing that Usyk makes everybody do. Usyk can fight off the back foot and then make you fight off the. He can pressure you and then go through and counter you by fighting backwards. Any direction. Again, he's Usyk, or what? There's nothing else to say about that. But I would love to see how Caballero deals with being forced backwards by the likes of Usyk. If that relentless stamina and just body shot pressure doesn't work, and he's getting pieced up, what will he be able to do to change? That's my concern. He could do some stuff. I'm not denying that. But I don't think he's ready until I can see when pressure starts to get the best of him, which with Usyk it will. What is his answer? I don't know that yet. Not to the degree that I need to see, at least for me. But no, it would be a great fight. Let me see. Rhoda, Rhoda, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. What's on there? Let me see. I saw Southpaw TV saying Bam will destroy anyway. And Bam anyway is a mismatch, saying Bam is more skilled. He acts like Bam never been dropped or struggled. And again, it's bloviating. I understand. Now give credit to this. If there was a fight that he could have that opinion on and it wouldn't be so outlandish, that would be the fight. Because Bam is an insane talent. Even at only 24 years old. If you think that Bam has more skills than INOUE, while I disagree, I couldn't say that it's not comparable. That's the thing. You can argue Bam up to being on par with INOUE at this stage right now, if you really want to. Because mind you, don't forget, Junto was supposed to fight Bam, not Martinez. Junto Nakatani was supposed to fight Bam on that card a couple of weeks ago, not Martinez. But he was going to step into the ring with INOUE's caliber next. So he is there. So crazy enough, I can't say I'm upset that he has that stance or that anybody would have that stance, because it is Bam. It's Bam. I don't think that he's better than Bam. But I definitely think it's comparable. But I don't think he's better. Oh, excuse me. I don't think Bam is better than INOUE. My apologies. I don't think Bam is better than INOUE. Definitively. I don't think Bam is better than INOUE. But it is comparable what Bam's skill set is. So I can't go out here and say that is too far away out of the realm of feasibility. Because that man is a supercomputer. That brother is, it comes to him like he's sleepwalking. This game comes to him like it is a literal jog in the park. Like he's walking around his house. He fights like he's walking around in his bathrobe carrying a cup of coffee. That's how he fights. We talk about effortless fighters. We talk about effortlessness with other fighters. It applies to Bam, but it's completely different. It's a different type of effortless. He fights in a way where every fight with Bam almost feels like, or most fights with Bam almost feels like sparring sessions, like he's practicing stuff, like he's going through the motions of what he's supposed to do for the real thing. But it is the real thing. It's the real thing. Crazy enough. So, yeah, he's a menace. So on that, I still disagree with the brother, absolutely. But it's one of the more feasible objections that I've heard of anything. Because at least I can say it's comparable between Bam and INOUE. The other stuff, no, that's let me see. It really does. But I'm trying to read what else you all got to say. I say that because his style is smothering and he has Deli's body shot working in the heavyweight division and he's a natural heavy. Yeah, no, you're right. Again, my whole thing with Caballero is simply dealing with pressure. If it starts to get the better of him, what can he do? Because that's going to come with Usyk. And how does he adapt to that? And if Usyk does stop those body shots, which he's been able to do before, like with Tyson Fury, what is it then that he is going to change? Which, I don't know. But again, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Let me see. He got you. Wait, hold on. Because in the nightmare, oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh shoot. And, piggybacking off of the nightmare statement, Daryl, because in that nightmare, Moses killed Jake literally and not figuratively. Oh gosh. Is this real? But this might be a premonition. Oh Lord. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh Lord. Well, that's a sign. If that's a sign, he better stay away. He better never fight in the heavyweight division again. Because if you had that dream about Moses, there's a litany of other people that dream could become reality with, and we don't want that. Like I said, we showed you what his face looked like 2 days after the knockout. We showed you that earlier in the stream. You can go back and look at it. That brother, he's bad off. That he is bad off. Like really, he is insanely bad off with that broken jaw. It's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad. And he sounded like he was slightly still concussed as well. So he better not. But if he wants the money, he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to. Plus, Caballero punches a lot harder. than anyone he's fought. Trust me. If he loses, it'll be his best test ever. Maybe. Maybe. It may be. Now, I don't think he's a harder puncher than Daniel Dubois. I don't think Cabello's a harder puncher than Daniel Dubois. As a body worker, sure, he's the most relentless out there. No problem there. I don't think he's stronger than Dubois. That Dubois, he got. I think Dubois right now is, if you want to say that AJ got still the strongest punches in the division, with Wilder on a decline. Shoot, if you still want to say Wilder's the strongest, okay, fine. As a puncher, sure. AJ's second. I got Dubois third. Big Bang Zhang probably. Shoot, Big Bang Zhang right now probably might be as a puncher, as a power puncher, in terms of like heavy hands in both hands, not cumulative, but just straight up one punch the damage it can do. Zhang probably might be in a better position than maybe Wilder right now, strictly because of the decline in Wilder. But if you want to say Wilder's above him, fine. But then I got Zhang at probably like fourth. And it ain't far behind. So, he ain't the strongest. But he is the strength that he does have, which is great. Coupled with the relentless pressure, I can get with you there. I can get with you there. It would be an insane level of test. Let's see. We've heard this before. This guy will be INOUE, and that guy, when he wins, they call his opponents bums. They were never good. I mean, it's the same thing with INOUE and a bunch of other opponents. People that don't know him, don't know him. People that do know him, try to discredit him. And so it's like, it's a catch-22. What can you do type situation. Just win and shut him up, and eventually they'll have to give you something. Usyk fights in very different dimensions than Cabello, but Cabello hits the body hard. But you can't hit what you can't hit. Yeah, you can't hit what you can't hit. And that's what makes it, and even more than Usyk just not being hittable. We can't forget Usyk is an offensive-minded fighter. This man ups his aggression in the second half of the fight better than anybody else in the division. And even early on, this man, if you push him early, he'll push back better and early in the fight. Like I told Dubois, he will go through and work. He'll go through and work, man. Like, Cabello has not faced that type of person. He faced off against Makhmudov. You know, some people calling him, the Russian Mike Tyson, because he kept twitching his neck all the time. But he fought Makhmudov. Makhmudov was supposed to be a pressure fighter, but clearly there are tiers to his ability and defense. I don't know what this was as a defensive posture trying to defend stuff, especially to the body. But I credit to, again, the strength, absolutely. But his ability going up against somebody that is like Usyk, there's going to be a pressure that you can't just fight your way through. You have to stop that pressure. Tyson Fury was able to stifle some of Usyk's pressure in that first fight to land a lot of his shots upstairs and down. But even that got overcome. I don't know if Cabello can deal with it. Stopping. I don't know how Cabello deals with being on the defensive. When his work doesn't work, that's my question. When his work doesn't work, what can he do then? Because it's not going to be, I guarantee you, it's not going to be that Usyk's just going to stand there and let him hit him. He's going to have to chase. And it's not going to be that when Cabello does get close, Usyk's going to let him just outwork. Y'all forget, Usyk knocked out Dubois in 4 rounds. The rejuvenated Dubois. Usyk knocked down Tyson Fury in their first fight and busted him. Legit. Usyk is an actual full-fledged heavyweight now with the power to boot. Actively. It's no longer, he's just he's just skillful. That brother, he's skillful and he can legit crack. Caballero, I know he's tough. We can't forget that Caballero's also got to take Usyk shots. He's got to take the punches of Usyk, which can come where you can't see him. And they can swat. I mean swat. Daniel Dubois didn't quit when he got knocked down by Usyk the second time. He got knocked out. He got knocked out clean. Fury was in a reeling state. Straight up. He had to gain weight to take the punches of Usyk in the second fight and still got beat up. Like this brother, he can punch now. He can hit you. He got some real dynamite in them hands. So it ain't just gonna be one-way traffic. That's what I don't know how Caballero's gonna deal with. When it's not just one-way traffic, and he got and Big Bang Jane put him down. Don't tell him what Usyk can do with stamina. Big Bang Jane let him off the hook after that knockdown. He couldn't finish it. Usyk's gonna get you out of there. He'll do it. He'll put you down if he gets you in that situation. So it's gonna be interesting. I would love to see it. But man, it's it would be something serious, man. It would be something serious. Also, hold on. We got super chat. Hold on, we got paid. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a second. We got paid. Hey. Thank you to Mr. Miyagi for the $10 super chat. Yes, sir. Thank you for the money. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the homes to the empire. Yes, sir. And if anybody else wants to give it to the channel, hey, feel free. We got links down below in the description. Scan the QR codes on the screen and give something if you want to, if you can. Let's have ourselves a bottle popping party. Let's celebrate Christmas by giving me all your gifts. Oh yeah. We're getting greedy out here. Yeah, we being Grinch and Mr. Well, I'm turning into a Scrooge. Hey, I ain't reading no more chats till I get $50 or more. No, I'm kidding. I'm messing. I'm kidding. I'm playing. But let me see what you gotta say, Mr. Miyagi. as we. Watch, some people gonna leave the chat right now. Some people gonna leave this whole stream right now. But no, please don't. I'm just making jokes. Let's see what you guys say on today, Mr. Miyagi. Let me see. Sup, Jean-Luc Welch. Sup to you as well. I tell you, Wardley is a wild fighter that could clip Usyk, but not likely. But there is a reason he didn't go through with fighting Wardley after the Parker win, because they would fill a stadium. They would not. You're right. They would have. The most unlikely hero going in against one of the best in the world. Yeah, that would have been an insane level of hype and fight adrenaline. That could have gone to Wembley or one of the major soccer stadiums in the UK if they chose to. Because this man had to, like I said, he's the UK Deontay Wilder. You'll pull a rabbit out of his hat. No matter how good you think you are, somehow, some way, he's a monster from that perspective. I still stand by Usyk taking Wilder I don't want it to happen. I want it to happen after Wardley. But Usyk's doing it so that he can scratch off all three names of the three kings of the heavyweight division on his resume. I understand that perspective. And crazy enough, that fight would bring a whole bunch of money comparable to the fight with Usyk versus Wardley. Whether we like that reality or not, that's the fact of the matter. We don't like it, but that's the truth. It will bring that much comparable level of money. And it's an easy payday that if we are going to say that a fighter can take an easy fight when he's done work, because every fight's not going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl. We understand that. Usyk would deserve that claim. I just wanted this to happen after Wardley. I really wanted it to happen after Fabio Wardley. Then fight Deontay Wilder, and then go back into the fray. But because you had business to handle, I would have wanted you to handle that business first and then take on Wilder. But I do get why he is taking on Wilder, because the legacy additive of beating Wilder and Fury and Usyk with the money in a fight that, yeah, you know you're going to win. It's like, can I be business-wise, I get it, but I don't like it. And I hope that Usyk ain't ducking for real. I mean, he's already a duck because, he was next in line. But I hope he ain't ducking for real. Next, after that fight, I better see him fight against Wardley the second he beats Deontay Wilder. I better see him do it. And don't let it be a cherry pick going long where he goes through and he gets knocked out by Wilder. Actually, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a second. I just thought of something. What if we get a fight? What if Wilder does the impossible? What if he does the impossible and he knocks out Usyk? All of a sudden, we would get a fight, Wardley versus Usyk. No, I'm sorry, we would get Wardley versus Wilder for the undisputed championship of the world. Oh my gosh. Son. What type of fight would that be? Oh, shoot. Buddy, that would be insane. That would be ridiculous. That would be preposterous if that happened. Wardley versus Wilder for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Preferably in Alabama, New York, California, I don't care where. That would be insane if that type of reality actually took place. My gosh. I didn't realize that could actually happen. That can't actually happen. That's insane. Let me see. I just saw Adam Azim versus Gustavo Lemos. That is a dangerous fight for Azim. Now, last time we saw Lemos, he came in at 168 against Keyshawn Davis. So, he definitely going to have some power with some size. He's going to have some power with some size, too. It is a dangerous fight, yeah. Now, do I think Adam Azim is going to be able to take him? Yes, I do. But it hasn't changed the fact that Adam, you better be on your P's and Q's, man. When I say this man can hit, When I say this man can hit, this man can hit. When I say this man can hit, this man... Wait, was it Lemos that fought... Hold on, wait, time out. It was Lemos that fought against Keyshawn Davis, right? Yes, it was Lemos that fought against Keyshawn. Yep. And in fact, Lemos fought against... Yep, I knew it. I thought so. Lemos also fought against Richards and Hitchens and had Hitchens dropped from pillar to post multiple times during their fight, even though Hitchens won. Hitchens was in trouble in a lot of situations in a bad way for at least 4 times in that fight. Wobbled and shaky. Yeah, Azim better be careful. Azim better be careful. Yep. Hitchens gave him a nightmare, man. I didn't see your chat, and I had to look it up because I had a feeling, but you answered it, and I didn't see it. But yeah, Hitchens was in a deep world of trouble against him. So you're absolutely right. Let me see. I think Wardley too dangerous, even though I think Usyk will probably win. But Wardley is so unorthodox. Usyk might just get clipped. Wardley doesn't have a whole lot of tricks, but Wardley has, it's not desperation. It's a drive that, again, we used to see Wilder have. I don't compare it to Wilder just in one way. The same way Wilder would have the ultimate belief, we're going to get it done one way or another. I don't care how bad you think it is. We're going to get it done one way or another. That's what Wardley has. And that leads to ultimate trust in that one weapon that is in essence, another great eraser. It's not to the level of Wilder, but it will absolve all sins of what it goes on in the ring in a negative fashion. And he believes in it wholeheartedly. And he won't give up. He will not give up. You have to put him down. That's the thing with Wardley. You have to put him down. It's not enough just to go and beat him. It's not enough just to go and outbox him. You have to put that brother down. put him down, or if you do get to a point where you got a secure lead, just stay straight away. Just backward, dare I say run. Don't even give him the chance to do something. Because if you don't put him down and there's still time left, I don't care how much you dominating, he'll find a way to land something. And to turn it so far, I guarantee you, he's done it too many times now. I'd rather have Jake get his butt whooped in cruiserweight, because eventually he will get more than a fucking at heavyweight. And I will reiterate this. He'll get damaged, absolutely, in either regard. The ring just has to be the same size as standard, and I guarantee you that demise will come a whole lot sooner. The ring played a big factor in Paul's ability to survive that long. I guarantee you. I promise you. That ring gets shorter. That ring becomes a standard 20 by 20. Most of his fights against an actual competent fighter, they'll go 4. Because now we know his game plan. He will always clinch and never actually fight. He'll never actually fight. He'll just clinch and survive. As long as the ref does his job, there should be no fight with Jake Paul from this point on against a real fighter that lasts beyond 4 rounds. There should be. If the ref does his job and takes a point early, or tells him to stop hugging and running early, and then the ring is the standard ring, then it should be 4 rounds or less. He gets him out of there. And everybody gets Jake Paul out of there. Because there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do when he has to fight. We will probably get Pacheco versus Shiraz, WBO. Yep. In fact, I was going to bring that up on our screens for you all to witness and see right here, right now. As you can see, Pacheco versus Shiraz. Well, I guess in Billy versus Shiraz isn't happening. Okay. All right. All right. I guess we're going to have Pacheco versus Shiraz now. And look, I stand by what I said when we saw Pacheco face off against Billy. If that same Pacheco shows up, he's getting beat by Shiraz. If that same Pacheco shows up, he's getting beat by Shiraz. He's getting beat by, as of right now, he's getting beat by Shiraz. Because let me try and change my pick and saying, oh, you're off the bandwagon of how high you are on Pacheco. I'm still high on him, but I'm telling you right now, which side of the screen is he on? He is not ready for him. He ain't ready for him. That brother is not ready for Shiraz. He's not. Right now, he's not. He is not ready. If he was, I would say so. But the brother just ain't gotten there. He ain't gotten to that point. He has been, especially when it's height on height. Seiji was able to get to him without the height. With height, this brother is going with a height advantage that is negated. With a fighter that's able to be as much of a powerful slicing threat with his hooks. I'm telling you, Pacheco, you better be careful, man. And you try to throw that same volume that you did against Seijo, and you got put down. You threw one punch too many. You do that against Shiraz, buddy, you're gonna be Berlanga 2.0. You're gonna be Berlanga 2.0 if you ain't careful. If you ain't careful, man, I'm telling you. It can get really bad really quick. Also, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Ozan Pilata. I think is it Ozan Pilata? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. We're trying to scroll up and down. Thank you for tuning into the show. Ozan Pilata. Appreciate you tuning in on the line. I'm a Turkish MMA fighter. Well, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hey, I don't know how you found us, but hopefully you're enjoying the show. Hopefully we're entertaining you. Now, we are primarily a boxing dedicated show, but we do dabble in the MMA. We do dabble in the mixed martial arts. Like we had a whole situation with John Jones not fighting Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall tearing his retina. Ilya Tapora looking like he's going to calling out Makachev, which, hey, I'm down to see that fight. I really am. I would be interested to see how Ilya deals with that wrestling. If even he will let that happen. And if he catches Makachev clean, hey, buddy, he could knock out Makachev straight up. if they do ever get in the ring and he catching him with that left hook like he did, or excuse me, that right hook, like no, I'm sorry, it was a left and a right. It was a left hook and a right hook that he landed on Charles Oliveira when he put him out in the first round in a couple seconds. That meant, I'm telling you, in the UFC, he's got all time pound for pound level power. I'd be excited to see that fight. But like I said, we talk about it and so much more on this show. We appreciate you tuning in. And hey, we're so happy that you're here. Hopefully you'll leave a like on the stream. And if you would, subscribe to the channel. Come support. And hey, bring up some topics. We would love to see what you all got to say on anything regarding the world of sports. We are in the championship rounds. So whatever you want to discuss, if I can discuss it, I can discuss it and I can talk about it. So let's see what you all got to say on today. But let me keep on going back up and trying to make sure I can catch everybody going on. But Ozon, thank you so much for coming into the show. And hopefully you'll stick around because we got, like 15 more minutes. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. We had a whole lot of fun right now. Let me see. What is your top 10 fights? That might be a Friday question that we had to ask. I got to think about that. Oh, gosh. Shoot. NAKATANI Cardenas is one of them. NAKATANI Cardenas is definitely one of them. Canelo Crawford, because of the event, the spectacle, and the historic nature of that event. What else? There's been so many. Bam. I want to say Bam versus. No, I can't even say Bam versus Martinez because that was a one-sided affair. Bam versus Crawford was also one side of the fair. For competitive fights, I gotta think. Shoot. That is tough. That is actually you might be able to throw Lamont Roach versus Isaac Cruz in there. Tank versus Lamont, of course. That one, because it was competitive. As a draw. That's what 3, 4. I got to think. There's been a lot. There's been was Bivol and Better BF this year? The rematch was that this year or was that last year? I can't remember. There's been so much action, which is crazy. We've had so many actual quality. Abdul Mason versus Sam Noakes. That was another one. That was phenomenal. Christian and Billy versus Martinez. That was one of the best fights of the year outright. My gosh, there was a lot. There was so many. Yeah, I gotta think. I might have to say that for Friday because I gotta really think about it. That's what 4 or 5, and there's still so many more to choose from. Dang, that's. I would have to think. Let me see. I see there's a Japanese prospect who is going to debut 2026. He just won the Japanese medals. Even anyone was saying this brother was special. His name is Yuga. I think it's Yuga Fujiki. I think it's Yuga Fujiki. I will check him out. Like I said, a lot of fighters from Japan I get introduced to after they make their debut. So I'll check them out and see what's going on with it. If he's legit and if anybody's even talking about him, we're going to have to keep an eye on it because that buddy might be good. Bebo Better Be. So Bebo Better BF, that was this year. Bebo Better BF 2 was phenomenal. Benavidez Morel, Tevin Farmer versus Zepeda. Yeah, that was a great one. That rematch. INOUE versus Cardina. There's so many. There's been so many. Can we just take a second? There's been so many fights this year that have just been spectacular. It's been so impressive. It's just been so impressive. I mean, clap it up, legit for this year in boxing. It's been phenomenal. It's been incredible. Before I'm trying to make sure I catch chats that are coming in and chats that are from afar. Let me see. Comrade William, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. Who else? I think I already said hi to Ramon Vasquez as well. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss nobody because there's been so many people coming into chat. What would happen if Tank fought Jake Paul? If Tank fought Jake Paul, it would most likely be about the same outcome. it would most likely be about the same outcome.
Hey, look at this.
It would be just about the same outcome.
We got some problems
And
here.
it's not because Tank can't punch. No, do I think Tank would have been able to knock him out? Yes, I do. I really do. However, now that we've seen what Jake Paul would have fought like, being defensive, and with Tank being a fighter that will lose the first half of the fight, we know his style. It would have gone about the same way, if not longer, because Jake would have even more fervently tried to clinch up when Tank came on the inside because he's a whole lot faster. And he would have been able to potentially lean on the ropes a little bit more and try to just shell up because it's the smaller man going up against him. Not because he's a better fighter. He's not a better fighter than Tank at all. But it would have gone the same way because the same game plan would have been implemented. And just like we say with Anthony Joshua not being able to cut off the ring, Tank fighting out the clinch, would he have been able to would the ref have dealt with the clinches in the same way? And if not, it could go the distance. Simply because he was going to survive. And as a bigger fighter holding and clinching, he trained with Lawrence Okolie. All Okolie does is clinch up. Okolie most likely taught that brother how to fight going up against the likes of Anthony Joshua in sparring. Because he was just clinching every single time. That's a viable game plan, I guarantee you. So it would have gone the same way, sadly, just because Tank, with the way that he fights, and Jake Paul, what we now see the game plan would have been in retrospect, running away in a 22-foot ring, yeah. 6 rounds, maybe even 7, until we get to see a knockout. Because Jake would have been tired, as he always is, because he's out of shape. He's out of shape in a bump. So it would have gone, in my opinion, it would have gone the same way, if not 1 round longer, because Jake would have still ran, and clinching would have been even more effective because he's the bigger man in that fight. So, but let me see. Anyway, packing on muscle slowly, like Crawford. Noticed his chest and arms getting bigger, and now he has a line down the front of his chest and his back's filling out. I mean, he's always been muscular. I think, again, we know he's been ramping up the speed at which 122 is not that far behind of what his career is going to transition into, especially after the fight with Junto Nakatani. And even the prep for Junto Nakatani. Yeah, it's going to have to sculpt some more stuff and be more deliberate. Now, I still got to get under the weight or be within the weight. But, like, if you're seeing that happen, you're seeing a person starting to grow, and the transition is coming sooner, potentially, rather than later. And also with the fact that he is fighting Nakatani, he's going to have to bulk up. Not because he isn't already strong, but he's dealing with a monster. He's going to have to be at his best. And you don't want to put anything to go to waste going up against Picasso to threaten that. So, yeah, go ahead and put it on. So I can understand it. Look at the Inoue that fought Neri, to Paulus body-wise, to the one that fought MJ. Looks leaner and more defined every fight. Yeah, because he's changing. He's changing. The brother changing. He really is. Picasso need to put some work. Picasso needs some work. I'm sorry, Pacheco needs some work. But Shiraz beating hold on. Pacheco needs some work. But Shiraz beated a bump with Berlanga. Oh, hold on. I think you're saying Pacheco needs work. But Shiraz beat a bum in Berlanga. So Berlanga's not the best super middleweight out there. Completely understandable. But I do got to respect Berlanga because he went 12 rounds with Canelo and survived a knockdown from Canelo and took the power of Canelo throughout the rest of the fight afterwards. Even when Canelo started amping up his own aggression, standing in the pocket. Berlanga is not the top tier, no question. But to knock him out is indeed impressive. That's not common. For the standpoint, it don't happen much, if at all. Because Berlanga, that's a big dude at 168. With that, he comes into fights 175, 180, potentially 190, and he can take a punch. He can. So to knock him out, when Canelo was brutalizing him and couldn't do that, he might not be as great of a fighter, but boy, that's an impressive feat. So even with that, yeah, Berlanga, Pacheco, excuse me, he better be careful. He better be very careful. Also, Just Do Boxing, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. You're just in time for the end of the show. We're so happy that you're here with us on today. And like I said, we want to hear your thoughts and opinions on anything. We're going to do actually the last call for the world of this show, as we're ending off this Tuesday afternoon. Last call for questions, comments, concerns, debate, anything involving the world of boxing, the NFL, the NBA, video games, movies, television, all that stuff. We want to hear from you. I would love to hear your thoughts, for those of you just tuning in, on how you felt about Anthony Joshua with the fight with Tyson Fury coming up. Hey, were you having questions about if he can beat Fury now? That's something that we need to actually start discussing legitimately. Because if Fury is a mover, and we saw Jake Paul, though, again, context, 22 by 22 foot ring, bigger than average, but still struggled to cut off the ring against a bum of a boxer who only knew how to be reclusive and knew how to get on his bike. Smart enough to do that. What is it that you think he can do against somebody that will still be able to move, but has longer reach and is as fluid of a fighter as Tyson Fury? And do you think that this glimpse of the new AJ that we saw is going to stick with the Usyk training camp? Now, full disclaimer, what I already said, I feel Usyk's training, the retrospective applications fully into what Anthony Joshua is going to be as a fighter won't be seen up until we see a real boxer engage with the likes of Anthony Joshua. I said AJ looked more comfortable. I said AJ looked more relaxed, doing a lot of the things that he used to do when he was at the top of his game. Guard up, not walking down like this, like he did with Daniel Dubois, hands down and all that stuff, trying to go through just with straight up power, bouncing with a more fervent pep in his step, constantly looking more fundamental, adding a lot more body feints and stuff. Again, we haven't seen this against a real fighter, so we want to see how this feels when the competition is legit going up against it. But there are semblances of something that might be brewing that could be good. There might be. And yes, it was Jake Paul, but remember the fervent avenue that we were saying that Anthony Joshua was not throwing punches in a way that would have conviction, with punches that when he was reclusive and he couldn't balance his conservative defensive posture post Ruiz, was still using the power that he had. And then with Dubois, he got overconfident in his offense and wasn't doing the defensive stuff. Now, all of a sudden, this cat's coming in and he looks like he's been able to rectify those wrongs and moving away, that he's got the conviction and still has rehoned the defensive responsibility and potentially added some new layers. It's as much of a detraction as we can hold on AJ for not ending this fight sooner. Fine. Even with the context of everything with the ring and Jake Paul not wanting to fight. The good parts of AJ that I didn't see collectively there were there in this fight. And it's something that if this does indeed grow, if he has this level of confidence in yin and yang, fluidity and comfortability, responsibility coupled with conviction, we could be looking at a legit last stint in Anthony Joshua's career that takes advantage of the last of his physical prime, and it actually bodes to some real success. It really does. Hypothetically. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's concrete. I'm not saying Jake Paul showed us Tyson Fury is going to be in trouble. I am saying there is some good in this that we can take and bring into that fight going on. And if so, might be pretty decent. Might be pretty decent. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie at all. And I'm excited to see it. No question about it. And also, I think because we ain't got more time, we were supposed to talk about something with Shakur Stevenson. But we completely did not. We got infatuated with it anyway. Absolutely. So we're going to use Shakur next time out on Thursday. Talking about him. I'm going to find that clip of what he said about talking against great boxers like Robinson. I think also Roberto Duran. I'm going to find that clip. And then also we're going to discuss what he said with Keyshawn Davis in response to what he would do to fight him. And in fact, for the sake of time, since we got a little bit, here's a quick preview. Just a bit of a taste as to what as to what Thursday, as to what Thursday's show is going to have in store for you. Just to give you a little bit of something to go in and not just quench the palate, but give you something to be excited for, and to get some questions revolving around come Thursday afternoon. So let me go on and play right here for you all to witness and enjoy right here. Again, this is a quick preview of part of what we're gonna discuss come Thursday as one of the topics we couldn't get here. We couldn't talk about it.
People coming at you
today. And if Shakur fighting Keyshawn Davis, actively putting a price tag on what was supposed to be something that isn't negotiable for a fight with Keyshawn.
Yeah, I've been seeing that online. People coming at you for saying that you won't fight Keyshawn.
Also, let me make sure that y'all can actually see the clip. Yep, here we go.
Yeah, I just don't understand it. Like I get how you feel when you don't know somebody's relationship with somebody, but if this is my brother, my right-hand man that I look at, why am I putting on the show in front of y'all people? What am I fighting my brother for in front of the world? And that could fuck up our relationship, because at the end of the day, I'm competitive as fuck. He's competitive as fuck. It gotta be a winner, it gotta be a loser. I don't plan on letting no nigga beat me. I don't care who it is. So at the end of the day, that will come in between me and his relationship. I don't give a fuck how anybody else feel about it, but I know for a fact, like, that will make us have a certain relationship that we don't have now. So unless motherfuckers giving us 500 million or some crazy shit that's going to like feed our families for the entire rest of our lives and our generation to come after that, then I don't really understand like how y'all feel about it. Or I don't give a fuck. It is what it is.
So again, this is gonna lead into Thursday. Previously, he didn't put a price tag on that fight, and now he has. Previously, he said nothing would happen. Now he's saying, unless it's 500 million, some generational type money, he wouldn't do it. And the issue is, Shakur's in a position where that type of money, with Davis in the vicinity, is a possibility to actually happen between both of them. That $500 million or generational amount of money type of fight with both of them is not with the way boxing's going right now, especially with the Ring magazine, it is not something that is that far behind. Money like that is not as unrealistic as Shakur may just be talking like it would be. And because of that, when I say he's going to be tested as to whether or not he's going to keep to his word, I'm not going to fight you. Not because I'm trying to push you, but because I'm telling you, both of you all are rising up in a point where if you get to where you want to be as a fighter, and Keyshawn does as well, and both of y'all believe in each other, there's going to become a crossroads where that money and that availability and that very same situation would be on the table. And now, are you going to keep to your word? Again, we're going to discuss that on Thursday, but it's just food for thought as to previously there was not a price, and he said no amount of money will make me fight him. Now, there is a price tag or a threshold that would go and make him fight Keyshawn Davis. So the bar that was off screen now is all of a sudden lowered. It's still high. But especially in this boxing climate, it is a ceiling that is actually attainable. Which is why I keep telling you all, Shakur is going to be tested with this very notion. And somebody's going to fold. And don't be surprised if he gets put in that same situation where that type of money is available or something close to it. And Keyshawn's the one that says, let's run. Whether or not, let's get this money. But let's run it. And now, Shakur, what you going to do? Or vice versa, whatever way. That type of life-changing situation to have this as a plausibility is viable. Don't say it ain't, because it is. So you're going to be tested, man. Keep on trying to tell y'all, it's coming. One way or another, it's coming. And it's going to be, what will happen? We don't know. Just know. It's going to cause a whole lot of drama when that anvil of consequence inevitably drops. Because on both of them, I guarantee you they're going to face that road. They're going to face it, I promise you. Let me see. Andy Aroka and Russell will happen on Ryan Carter. Oh, it will. Wait a minute. It will.
I've been seeing that online.
Hold on. We ain't trying to hear that interview again. But if that is true, if that's happening, shoot, that's great. That's phenomenal. That's incredible. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I'm down for that little card. Also, this is dang it. This was what I was looking for. This was the tweet I was looking for with Shakur as well. I missed it. Yeah, we're gonna bring this up tomorrow. We're gonna bring a lot of this stuff up tomorrow because I couldn't find it, and we got lost in conversation on today. But regardless of which, we're gonna keep on talking. We're gonna keep on rocking, and we're gonna go and end this show off and see you all on Thursday. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show with us on today. We appreciate your time, your fervor, your energy, your effort, all of your joy and action in regards to everything involving this show. And I'm telling you what, right now, we had a joyous time. We had an incredible affair. To all of you, thank you all for tuning in and listening. Please leave a like on the video before you get out of here. Comment your thoughts and opinions on what you liked or didn't like about the show so we can improve. Be sure to share the show with everybody that you know, and be sure to go through and subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. I'm sorry. Hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Thank you to Mr. Miyagi and everybody else who donated and gave to the show. You all were wonderful. You all were spectacular. And you all helped make this thing so great and so grand. All of you who chatted, all of you commented. It was a pleasure to see with you all. If you would still like to support the channel, again, Cash App and PayPal, links down below in the description. We can't do this without viewers like you, so please, if you can support, will mean the world to us. We're going to earn our keep and earn our time. And hey, we're going to still turn into the hottest show in all of the globe, right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. And hey, we're going to be back on Thursday, covering the world of boxing and beyond, all for your viewing and listening pleasure. And please be back, return, and we're gonna have ourselves a time. Get your conversations ready. Oh yes, indeed, we're gonna have ourselves some real good debates and some real good conversations around Shakur and so much more. So I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we right here. Yes, sir. We gonna see you all on Thursday. Be safe, be blessed. Peace and love. We out of here.